graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Roof is needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof is leaky?
Call Crumweedy.
Shingles are curly?
Call Crumweedy.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy?
Call Crumweedy.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson,
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
a third-generation family business.
We're conservative just like you.
We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
Really good roofs.
The difference is installation.
Hey, we know that. That's why we follow the manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is totally intact.
A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
We say call. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
myroofisneedy.com. Hey, do it now. Get it done before the winter comes.
Crumweedy. We fix roof problems.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning. Little fog to the south, otherwise not so bad in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. But all the details come from Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning. On the outbound Ryan, we have roadwork delays from 83rd to 95th. Two right lanes are blocked there. The entrance from 87th is closed till 6 a.m. Inbound I-57 till Falstead to the merge after some work. About a 3-minute delay. Bishop Ford heavy from Sibley to past the Steel Bridge. There is a crash there, just reported, and we've got about a 5-minute backup already, the inbound side of the Ford Freeway. The other expressways and tollways right now are looking good. Traffic also is a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Come in today and get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer is next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog with some sun for the morning, then clouds increasing. High today 48. Couple of showers late tonight, low 44. Tomorrow, occasional rain followed by breaks of sun, high 52, and a mainly clear and colder night tomorrow night, low 31. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
31 at O'Hare, 35 along the lakefront, and 29 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Continuous news coverage, 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, before we get into some of the dreary business of news and politics, we do have a championship to report. I mean, when I say we, I mean me as the team owner.
Well, we beat Hawthorne in 3 sets yesterday, and it was pretty intense. I lost my voice because this is how deafening it was. Are you ready for this?
Mr. Crab. Holla, Bob.
Was that the volleyball game or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Every single point was like that. People screaming uncontrollably, and that was a 7th and 8th grade game. It was even worse than the 5th and 6th grade team.
And that was the guys that you heard screaming. Those were the dads. That's the frightening thing.
Listen again.
Mr. Crab. Holla, Bob.
Wow. Yeah, that was intense.
It was. We were down 10-0, deficit of 10 points. Came back, won the first game. The second set was awful. We lost 7-25, and then the third set, which you only played at 15 points, it was tight. We won 15-13. No, I'm sorry. We won 16-14. You have to win by 2. So it was, you call it overtime, but it was, So now tonight,
it's like listening to John Fox dissect a game.
Tonight, thanks, Dan. Tonight, your team, your franchise, your child.
And I also, just remember, I control the merchandising rights. My goodness.
I know. Words.
You got me doing it.
Words are hard. Tonight, 5 o'clock, Halstead Center, Halstead and Waveland. Plenty of parking, plenty of seats. We take on the conference champion of the South Conference. This is the big thing. This is it.
So this is for the city championship.
Yes, this is a big deal. So we won our conference yesterday, and now we play tonight at 5 o'clock. I expect all of you to be there.
Oh, yeah,
to wear Blaine blue and to cheer us on. Okay? All right. Who's in? Huh? Raise your hands. Anybody? Oh.
I'll have my people there. I mean, we have a contract extension on the line here.
Oh, we do. Yeah. The 5th and 6th grade team, we didn't win. And the first time ever the whole season, we lost the first set, and then it went down from there. So my apologies to the girl, because it's all about the coaching. And they weren't there. Mentally, we were not there. So we'll work on that, and we'll be better next year.
I found, if I could, not to detract from the city championship game, but I have found your coaching performance to be decidedly uneven.
Well,
and we're going to have to talk about that after the season.
We ended 9-2. Owner, Hefe, 9. We had 9 wins, 2 losses. Lost to the same school twice. Once in the regular season and then in the playoffs.
You know what happens? You know what you call losing in the playoffs?
What?
A losing season. That's what we call it in my franchise.
You're saying I can't get lifetime health insurance now, or my own private jet for life?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Goodell deal is off the table. All right. Well,
I wanted $50 million.
Very good. Very
next
good.
year. Yeah, so tonight, if you guys can come and support us, please. It'll be the best half hour of your life. And you won't look creepy or anything being an older gentleman watching 7th and 8th grade girls.
If anybody asks, do you have is one of your girls out there? No. I'm just a big fan of volleyball, but very specifically 7th and 8th grade girls volleyball. I have a very specific, I'm going to run for Senate in Alabama.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'd want Keith Conrad to go too, but he is in that wheelhouse. He's about 32 years old, hanging out with,
He's also
13, 14-year-old girls. He is from Alabama. Today, we're going to have patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, sunshine giving way to some clouds, a high of 48 degrees. And tomorrow, wow, a little rain in the morning, but it's going to be warm, a high of 52. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Keith. On the outbound Ryan, got delays 83rd to 95th. This is overnight work. 2 right lanes are blocked till 6 this morning. The inbound Ryan's still okay. On I-57, 3-minute delay, Halstead to the merge. Bishop Ford backing up with a crash at Steel Bridge, now on the right shoulder. There's a jam starting around 154th Street. 24 minutes is drive time from 8094 to the Ryan. The other expressways and tollways for now look great. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179 or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
Confidence. Do you have it? Dr. Elizabeth Shake wants to help you find your confidence. Confidence is what you feel when you know your teeth are white, your gums healthy, and your breath fresh. And that confidence shows in your smile and the way you relate to your family, friends, and coworkers. That's why after a cleaning, a whitening treatment, or a dental procedure, Walden Square Dental Care wants to see you feeling happy and confident when you leave their office. Dr. Elizabeth and her team from Walden Square Dental Care will do whatever they can to make you feel comfortable. Your health and well-being is their priority. Plus, all your concerns will be addressed, from dental procedures to dental billing, and the result is your fresh, confident, beautiful smile.
Walden Square Dental Care, serving Grays Lake, Gurnee, and Libertyville. Your complete family dental care practice. Visit waldensquaredental.com or for an appointment, call 847-223-0110. That's 847-223-0110.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Here's my resolution. The vast right-wing conspiracy is not responsible for the impeachment of Bill Clinton, and the vast left-wing conspiracy is not responsible for the end of Roy Moore. The end of Roy Moore as a candidate for U.S. Senate effectively occurred yesterday, in my view, when Beverly Young Nelson took to a press conference with Gloria Allred to describe what happened to her, as she alleges, back when she was a waitress at a local restaurant in the county where Roy Moore was the district attorney.
It's called the Hickory House.
And
she was 15 years old, and she even said she had long red hair and he'd pull on her pigtails. But she said she was well developed and Roy liked her.
When he was at the restaurant, he would speak to me and would sometimes pull the ends of my long hair as I walked by him. I had red hair down to my waist. He would compliment me on my looks, and I did not think anything of it. I did nothing to encourage his flirtatious behavior. I was accustomed to men flirting with me because I was a well-developed and competed in beauty pageants. I did not attach any significance to Mr. Moore's behavior towards me, and I did not respond to any of Mr. Moore's flirtatious behavior for two reasons. First, I had a boyfriend. Second, if I had not had a boyfriend, I was not interested in having a dating or sexual relationship with a man that was twice my age.
So that's one specific distillation of that time period, and it's important that she said he was a regular in this restaurant.
Sat in the same spot.
Because we'll hear from Roy Moore and his wife shortly, but then she goes on to talk about, an incident involving her yearbook.
I happened to bring my yearbook to work with me to the restaurant on December the 22nd, 1977. I put it down. I put it down at the end of the counter. Mr. Moore happened to notice it, and he asked me if he could write in my yearbook, and I felt flattered, and I said yes. He wrote in my yearbook as follows: to a sweeter, more beautiful girl. I could not say Merry Christmas. Christmas 1977. Love, Roy Moore, Old Hickory House. And it signed it Roy Moore, DA.
No, it hasn't been, handwriting verification and all those things that somebody might bring up. But
we don't need a handwriting analysis.
But we're putting, you're putting a lot of specifics on the table. Miss Young Nelson is doing so. And then one night.
December, a cold night.
Roy Moore offered to give her a lift home. She lived a couple miles from the restaurant, and this is what Miss Young Nelson, or Mrs. Young Nelson, says happened.
Instead of answering my questions, Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me and putting his hands on my breast. I tried to open my car door to leave, but he reached over and he locked it so I could not get out. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop. But instead of stopping, he began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch. I continued to struggle. I was determined that I was not going to allow him to force me to have sex with him. I was terrified. At some point, he gave up. And he then looked at me and he told me, he said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
So her boyfriend was supposed to pick her up after a shift after work. It was cold out. She locked up. She locked up herself at the age of 15, or 16, excuse me. And he offered to drive her home, but instead he went behind the restaurant by the dumpster. And that's when this alleged assault took place. But, I mean, what do you think now?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line is their anyone who suggests that Roy Moore should stay in this race, that Roy Moore is the victim of a vast left-wing conspiracy, as some were suggesting prior to yesterday's press conference. I wasn't one of them, and as I said, I don't think there's this is a really well-orchestrated conspiracy if it is, which I don't believe it is, and I believe Roy Moore is done and should be, and just about I think now every Republican senator, Ted Cruz may have been the last one to fall, has now suggested the same. Ted Cruz saying, as it stands, I can't urge the people of Alabama to support a campaign in the face of these charges without serious persuasive demonstration that the charges are not true.
And this is a pain that she kept with her all of her life, and she was believable, and I felt her pain.
About 2 years later, I told my younger sister what Mr. Moore did to me. About 4 years ago, I told my mother finally what happened. Before I married my husband, John, I told him what Mr. Moore had done to me. My husband and I supported Donald Trump for president. This has nothing whatsoever to do with the Republicans or...
Yeah. So and now to be fair, here's Roy Moore and his wife. First time we hear from his wife. They, outside of a volunteer fire department in the county in which Roy Moore lives, they briefly addressed the media. Here's Roy Moore first.
I want to make it perfectly clear. The people of Alabama know me. They know my character. They know what I've stood for in the political world for over 40 years. And I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false. I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't even know where the restaurant is or was. And if you look at this situation, you'll see that because I'm 11 points ahead, or 10 or 11 points ahead, this race being just 28 days off, that this is a political maneuver and has nothing to do with reality. It's all about politics.
I knew he was lying because I used to live in a small town, and he lived in Gadsden, and of course he knew where the Hickory House was. Of course he knows where that is. And of course he's visited there many times.
And there's probably a lot of people that could substantiate that he was a fixture there. Then that will be forthcoming stories, just as predicted that there might be more accusers coming forward now that the seal was broken yesterday. And of course that happened after the show yesterday. Here's Roy Moore's wife standing by him and sort of echoing the sentiment you just heard.
I'd like to let my wife make a few statements.
I've been married to this man for 32 years. We've been together for 33 altogether. He has never one time lifted a finger to me. He is the most gentle, most kind man that I have ever known in my life. He's godly. He's loving, and everybody in this community knows it. These are our church members. These are our family. These are our friends. These are people that know him just like I do. These things are false, and it's ugly. It's the ugliest politics that I've ever been in my life.
And she's believable, too, and I feel for her, too. I mean, because we had to suffer, and we'll be talking about this all morning, but we had to suffer through Bill Clinton and all his infidelities, Jennifer Flowers and Paula Jones, and he survived, but Roy Moore can't because it involved minors.
His wife is believable to the extent that she's talking about what she knows. That's the difference. Who do you believe? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We'll pick it up after we check the headlines with the appendix-free Mike Scott.
36 degrees, clear skies this morning. That is a lakefront temperature. It's much colder out in the far western suburbs this morning. And our top story on AM 560, the answer is Alabama Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore denying a new accusation that he sexually assaulted a teen when he was in his 30s.
I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
Beverly Young Nelson said yesterday she was 16 when Moore groped her in a vehicle. At the time of the incident, Moore was a district attorney. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says right now it's in everyone's interest for Moore to quit the race.
I suggested it'd be best for him, the state, his family,
the GOP and the country be stepped aside.
Colorado Senator Cory Gardner, who heads the Senate committee that works to elect Republicans, says Moore is unfit to serve, and if he wins next month's special election, the Senate should vote to expel him. President Trump's 12-day Asian tour ends today when he returns to the United States. Meantime, a federal appeals court is upholding a good chunk of the president's latest travel restrictions. It was a ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Monday. The president, meantime, will meet with House Republicans on Thursday ahead of an expected vote on tax overhaul legislation. The corruption trial of 3 former members of FIFA, the soccer governing body, is underway in Brooklyn. So far, more than 40 officials and executives have been charged in a $200 million scheme. 2 are wounded following a shooting on the Chinatown feeder ramp in Chicago. It happened in the outbound lanes of the Stevenson Expressway. Chicago police are investigating a surge of carjackings in the city. 5 vehicles were stolen yesterday. Meantime, overnight, charges are pending following a police chase that began in Chicago and ended in Oak Park along the Eisenhower Expressway close to Austin Boulevard. Chicago sports last night found DePaul a college basketball winner over Delaware State. Northwestern got by St. Peter's. UIC fell to St. Joe's. Monday night football. Carolina crushed Miami 45-21. And it is the end this morning in Italy. Rome's newspapers say it's an apocalypse. Italy fails to qualify for the World Cup of Soccer for the first time in 6 decades. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. 4,000 ASE certified techs at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer longer. Come in today, get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more, whatever you drive. Drive a Firestone. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't surprised by the media's behavior anymore.
And of course, the media corruption on this is unbelievable. If you're going to report breathlessly on the indictment of Paul Manafort and this guilty plea by Papadopoulos, how do you not include in your media coverage what we found out about the Clinton campaign and the DNC? But they don't even mention it in the media coverage right now. Shocking. The media's corrupt. I know that's news to you, huh?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy 1 cabinet, get 1 free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house.
I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T 4358 and MLS 19186.
536. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway traffic is jammed from 159th Steel Bridge. There's a crash there on the right shoulder. It's 25 minutes from 8094 to Merge. Outbound 5 at 15. I-57. It's 18 minutes from I-80 to the Ryan. Ryan has a slight delay inbound. Cermak to the Burn Circle. Outbound heavy. 79th to 95th. Road work 2 right lanes. About a 3-minute delay. Edens, Kennedy still fine. Eisenhower just a little congestion east of 25th. Stevenson inbound. About a 1-minute delay. Cicero to Kedzie. Tollways are fine. No delays to Shreveport and Northwest Indiana. And traffic is a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Come in today and get $100 off any purchase $500 or more. Whenever you drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy fog this morning, especially in the south suburbs. Otherwise, sunshine will give way to clouds. 48 for a high temp. Cloudy, couple of late overnight showers, and a low of 44 and a bit of rain tomorrow. 31 at O'Hare, 35 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So here's what Mitch McConnell said yesterday about Roy Moore and his ongoing candidacy.
Do you believe these allegations to be true?
I believe the women, yes.
Are you calling for him to step down from that Senate race?
I did. I think he should step aside.
Are you encouraging a write-in campaign with Senator Strange?
That's an option we're looking at, whether or not there is someone who could mount a write-in campaign successfully.
Would it be Senator Strange, do you think?
We'll see.
Mitch McConnell believes the women should step down. It's basically what every Republican senator has now said, more or less, sans exculpatory evidence.
Right. Well, the yearbook I thought was pretty effective yesterday when she brought that to the press conference. But also, if he does get elected, will the Senate expel him?
They could do that. Senate has broad authority. The way it would work is they would refer him for an ethics committee investigation, after which point, pending the determination of the ethics committee, he could be expelled from the Senate. So that's certainly possible by a 2/3 vote.
Because before Beverly Young Nelson spoke, Gloria Allred, friend of the show, friend of mine, said,
not friend of mine.
Well, she said, I've worked with her before. She said, she's willing to testify under oath if need be.
Yeah, before Senate committee. That's right. Roy Moore was asked that same question by a local reporter in Alabama after the statements he and his wife offered, and he did not take any questions at that press avail.
One part of the press conference, though, that made me really squirm is when she talked in detail about how, because he grabbed her neck so hard that she had bruising and she had to use makeup to cover up the bruises, and that's when my stomach churned.
Before I take questions, we have something to show you.
No, that's not it. Well, anyway, yeah, that's right. She detailed that, and she used makeup to cover it up. And
it was so. I mean, that's when you knew it was serious.
Well, so you were a defender of Roy Moore, a naysayer as to the charges leveled by the 4 women previous to Mrs. Young Nelson yesterday. What say you now?
Well, I still think the voters of Alabama should be the ones deciding this, and a lot of them are standing by him. His campaign manager was on literally minutes after the press conference. CNN played the press conference, and Brooke Baldwin interviewed the campaign manager, who basically said there's been an increase in support for Roy Moore.
Democrats are seeing a boost in volunteers for your opponent, Doug Jones, because of all these stories that are swirling. Are you at all concerned about that?
No, if you want to support Doug Jones and you're a Democrat, please go ahead. I'm for civic duty, and I'm for getting out and supporting the candidate that you think is best. I think Roy Moore is the best candidate for the race because he's a veteran who has served Alabama with pride and distinction, and so that's why I support him. If he wasn't, if I thought for a minute that any of those things were true, I couldn't possibly support him. But
they said that people, more people are volunteering to put signs in their front yard, to work the phone bank, so it's having a different effect than we would think in Alabama.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, there's a reaction among the dyed-in-the-wool Roy Moore supporters, yes. The polling suggests that that's not what's actually happening in the electorate writ large, that 11-point lead that he mentioned in his statement, Roy Moore, that's disappeared. The more recent polling has him down, and I suspect after yesterday's press conference, that trend line is going to continue. Take some of your calls. We asked what you thought, so let us hear what you think. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, you know what? This is truly a disgusting story, and it's typical of a self-centered Republican, knowing that he's a disgrace. If these allegations are true or not, it just painted him in a very bad picture. But my question really is, how did this Gloria get involved? I can't imagine anyone in especially Los Angeles, knowing even where Alabama is. So that's what I'd like to know.
Okay.
And why wasn't this stuff brought up like months before that other special election where the Trump guy lost? I'm really not following the story that well. Just listening to you guys, I'm getting all the information. But it just seems like the timing of all of this seems very strange, or should I say, typical for today's times. And then also, I want to say, you know what? We don't even need courts anymore. Everyone is judged through the media, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well,
have a nice day.
Thanks
all
for
right,
the call,
so
Ed.
Gloria Allred said that Beverly Young Nelson, contacted her, and she contacted her after she read the Washington Post
Right.
article, because those women empowered her to tell her story.
So,
and she's in New York, not in L.A. For the record,
yeah,
that's where the
okay.
press conference was.
Well, right, but I mean, Allred's based in L.A., though. Yeah.
She's two offices.
It's sort of the other matters of the timing of this. Well, yeah, I mean, I assume that if the Luther Strange campaign or previous opponents of Roy Moore in previous statewide elections would have known about this, or would have followed perhaps rumors that were circulating about this, that they would have used the same information or tried to bring it forward to public light as well. I mean, it is a strange thing, but that's how it went down. With respect to the idea we don't need courts anymore, remember, this is a campaign for political office. He's not on trial facing criminal charges. So there are different standards, and I don't totally agree with what Mitt Romney said about the point I'm making. It's essentially the point he made, because then any accusation that's leveled, if it's serious enough, you're just supposed to walk away. And of course, we know that in political campaigns, there's a lot of baseless charges that are thrown around between candidates. So I won't go as far as Mitt Romney, be as flippant as Mitt Romney was, but I mean, there is media scrutiny, and it's trial by public opinion when it comes to elections, and that's not unusual, and it's not specific to Roy Moore. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Hey, Dan, Amy, how you doing? Anyways, on this situation with it being so, he said, she said, these women waited almost 40 years to bring this stuff up. Very, very suspicious there. I mean, but if they can wait that long, they could wait another month after the election and kind of, you know, if they want to still, after the election, still make the same charges and that. And plus, if I missed something, now they're charging some improper behavior for sure, but he has stopped short of, he hasn't actually done it, he hasn't raped any of these women or anything, unless I missed it. But improper behavior is being charged and alleged. And
well, criminal behavior was alleged yesterday. I mean,
He held somebody against their will, and he forced her to try and perform oral sex.
What Beverly Young Nelson described as a sexual assault, Craig.
Right, and that's why I'm saying the fact that they waited so long, and they got all their excuses for waiting so long. But if they were able to wait that long, why can't they wait another 28 days? Because there's something strange here.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Well, they don't want to wait another 30 days because they don't want him to be a United States senator, and that if what they're alleging is true, there's good reason why they don't.
Well, but she wanted to be released from the pain that she's been carrying with her since she was a 16-year-old girl. So she did that yesterday. Because at the end of the press conference, she said, "You no longer have power over me, and I've gotten my control back."
Jordan in Forest Park.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. You know, since this story developed, I could not think of any other classic movie than Elmer Gantry, the 1960 Burt Lancaster movie about a con man who is also a semi-evangelist, blah blah blah, and it's a classic movie on hypocrisy, and I think this is like the equivalent, the 2017 equivalent of that story. I think that if you're a man and you're alone with an underage woman, and let's say that underage woman acquiesces to everything that you ask her to do, and you actually have sex with her, I think
it's the the Louis C.K. defense of I asked them before I whipped it out, right?
And what was the rapper that also got involved with some of these young women in Chicago?
R. Kelly, yeah.
R. Kelly. This is a classic R. Kelly thing. Also, it's okay because they agreed to it.
Well, but apparently they didn't in this case. By the way, good.
They didn't in this case. That's correct.
Good Elmer Gantry reference, Jordan. But as you know here,
here we go.
We are book readers. We're not just moviegoers. So please make reference to the Sinclair Lewis book to encourage people not just to watch the Lancaster movie, but also to read, Jordan.
Oh, sorry.
All right, thanks.
Sorry.
You're on notice, Jordan.
Bill on the north side.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
You know, this is right out of the Democratic playbook. This is how Barack got his Senate seat.
Well,
a little different.
This
a lot different.
Well, this was right. The Jack Ryan divorce papers. By the way, I know a little bit about that. I was on that campaign. But the allegations there were in the context of a divorce proceeding and were related to Jack Ryan's wife, and they weren't sexual assault. It was arguably sexual creepiness. But this is not the same thing. I mean, the charges are not the same.
And also this waitress. If she had these feelings all these years, why didn't she bring them out when Bill Clinton was playing Hide the Weenie with Monica?
Thanks for the call, Bill, and the colorful turn of a phrase. Mike in Indiana.
I've never heard it termed like that, but okay.
Hey, Mike.
7 simple words. Duke Lacrosse, University of Virginia, Tawana Brawley.
You had one accuser, and in the Tawana Brawley case, one demagogue, Al Sharpton. Do you really think it's the same thing as this?
Exactly the same thing as this. Tawana Brawley, you must be kidding. They had the entire city of New York against these police, so far against the police. One of them ended up committing suicide. You recall?
No, look, those were all scandals. Thanks for the call, Mike. Duke Lacrosse and Nifong and him being disbarred, all that, they were all scandals. Obviously, Rolling Stone settling a huge defamation civil action against the gentleman they falsely accused of rape and pumped up that story. All scandals. I don't think they fit the fact pattern we're talking about here with Moore, starting with the fact that you have multiple accusers who've come forward and provided detail. And also, let's remember, Roy Moore's interview with Sean Hannity on Friday night that we played excerpts of yesterday, not helpful, generally speaking.
No.
Was not.
And he lost me
was
yesterday.
Was not persuasive.
Or last night when he said that he doesn't even know the old Hickory House restaurant. 36,000 people live in that town.
And he
and
was
back
the, and
40 years ago, I'm sure it was half of that or 3/4 of that.
And he's the DA for the county.
Yeah. And went in there, sat in the same spot on the bar they said, 4 or 5 nights a week.
Holly and Hudson.
Good morning. Well, I feel like I blame the GOP 100%. This is Tea Party redux. Put up a candidate in the primary who can't win in the general. And I think, once again, Trump fell into the jaws of victory by supporting Luther Strange. It makes Trump almost look genius. And this incident is the end of the very short-lived Bannon takeover of the House of Representatives.
That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Thanks, Holly. Sheldon Adelson publicly broke with Bannon yesterday, and this is a substantial part of the reason. So Holly may be onto something. Steve in Waukegan.
Good morning. I think in our commitment to the truth, we have to be truthful also in the timeliness of this, that we are being manipulated, whether the accusations are true or false. And I also think that we shouldn't put too much faith in the accusation unless a criminal complaint is filed, because until then, those who accuse are not on the hook for anything. And furthermore, it does do damage to us when we have trials. The people who donate their time to the campaign, if these charges are wrongful, they are wrongfully damaged. The voters are wrongfully damaged. And there are processes to deal with this. And I think voters first should ask themselves the question, is, for instance, his opponent more heinous for supporting abortion? Vote a politician. In my opinion, they're all crooked. So we could first vote for what they stand for. And if this person is a criminal and, a freak, like it sounds, remove them from office and have a commitment to make it happen in 6 months. Have him publicly commit or expel him.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. We have the pleasure of protecting over 25,000 of your homes with our innovative and proven line of protection solutions. Our customers enjoy peace of mind knowing their homes are safe regardless of weather conditions. They enjoy peace of mind knowing our solutions provide the early warning mechanisms required to fend off problems in advance. And they enjoy peace of mind knowing when called upon, our solutions will come to the forefront and operate as expected. Have you ever received an email or phone call from your sump pump warning you of an error or potential problem? Our customers have. Like us, our customers believe technology does not have to end at the top of the basement stairs, and they rely on our technology to protect their personal belongings that they care so deeply about. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HBR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems.
Get it done before the winter comes.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on that morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic is heavy on the inbound side of the Bishop Ford Freeway. First, from around 159th Steel Bridge, where there's a crash blocking the right shoulder. And then we also see delays from the Stony Island feeder to the Ryan. Drive time 36 minutes from 8094 to the merge. Outbound fine at 15. I-57 just 17 minutes from I-80 to the Ryan. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15. Overnight work is gone. Edens is okay. Inbound Kennedy, a little slow out of the River Road toll. It's a 2-minute delay. Clear once you get past Canfield. Outbound, it's fine. The Eisenhower has delays. Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue with a crash reported. 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Stevenson, 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Tollways are looking good at this hour. And traffic is a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job in minutes and manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. It's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Dan and Amy, but first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. The latest update with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, patchy fog for the morning, some sun giving way to clouds for the day. High 47. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of late-night showers, low 44. Occasional rain followed by clouds breaking for some sun tomorrow, high 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
31 at O'Hare, the news service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands, where is it convenient and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. 2 wounded overnight following a shooting on the Chinatown feeder ramp in Chicago. Chicago police investigating a surge of carjackings in the city. 5 vehicles stolen yesterday. New allegations surfacing against former Chicago Alderman Ed Verdoliak, accused of pocketing millions in unauthorized fees. Former Chicago Alderman says he'll challenge Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle in 2018 after she championed a highly unpopular sweetened beverage tax. Bob Fioretti announcing his candidacy yesterday. And a second Illinois Republican congressman says Alabama's Roy Moore should drop out of the race. Local college hoops last night. DePaul a winner along with Northwestern. Monday Night Football, Carolina over Miami. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
The Attorney General faces questions, and he also wants answers. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Attorney General Sessions goes before a House committee today, and Democrats could press him about his past testimony that he didn't know of any Russian contacts with the Trump campaign. One ex-advisor says he did tell Sessions about a trip to Russia. The Attorney General, meanwhile, has gotten the ball rolling on a possible second special counsel investigating the Clintons. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, in a letter to the House Judiciary Committee, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said prosecutors are looking into certain issues involving the sale of Uranium One and alleged unlawful dealings related to the Clinton Foundation. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley has been calling for a special counsel.
What all this is about is there political interference within the Justice Department? Is there political interference in the FBI?
Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff tweeted that if Sessions bends to pressure from President Trump, it could spell the end to the Justice Department as an independent institution. Dave.
Rachel, Donald Trump Jr. is back in the news after a report that he and WikiLeaks exchanged some private messages before the election, though the Trump Jr. replies were short and he has made them public.
Trump Jr. tweeting, "Here is the entire chain of messages with @WikiLeaks with my whopping 3 responses, which one of the congressional committees has chosen to selectively leak. How ironic."
Fox's Griff Jenkins. President Trump's flying home. His Asian trip is over.
It's been an incredible 12 days. I've enjoyed it immensely. I've made a lot of friends at the highest level.
Another strong denial from Roy Moore, from another accuser in what the Republican Alabama Senate candidate calls a witch hunt.
I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
Beverly Young Nelson says he wrote in her yearbook, and when she was 16, it happened 40 years ago in a car.
Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me.
Some Senate Republicans are calling on Moore to drop out of the Senate race. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. Only Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards. No other lender comes close to that level of client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage. It gives our clients a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online in minutes. No one else has anything like it. And our people. Each one of our 17,000-plus team members throughout Detroit, Cleveland, and Phoenix provides absolute client satisfaction each and every day. So why would you go anywhere else to get your mortgage? Go to America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire Ken Severa. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, let's take a little break from an Alabama Senate race and talk a little bit about presidents with some historical perspective. One of the criticisms or concerns about President Trump when as a candidate and then ultimately as president is this, since he's not really philosophically a conservative, I think he has some kind of policy instincts in a conservative direction, and that's a good thing. But during his campaign, he wasn't particularly focused on the spend side, the growth of government. It was about reducing taxes and growing the economy. But what about the spend side? Are we going to see an effort to limit government? And frankly, to one surprise, they've done a pretty good job, the Trump administration, of defanging the administrative state or making progress in that direction in the first year. This is perhaps the underreported story of Trump's first 11 months in office, which is virtually zero new regulations added to the Federal Register. And how much of a sea change is that? Well, in the last 2 decades, Republican presidents and Democrat presidents, the average has been 11,000 new regulations added to the Federal Register annually.
Wow.
So that's a serious accomplishment that's under-talked about, including by erstwhile conservatives like me, and so I want to make note of it. But get some historical perspective on presidents' accomplishment in the direction of reining in Leviathan, this $4 trillion a year central government we have, and untold trillions more of costs and obligations it imposes. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Ivan Eland. He is a senior fellow and director of the Center for Peace and Liberty, Center on Peace and Liberty, and he's the author of a new book, 11 Presidents, Promises versus Results in Achieving Limited Government. Ivan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
So, for conservatives, when you say, well, greatest president ever, or certainly greatest president of the 20th century, Ronald Reagan, of course, that's the first name that comes to mind. As a child of the 80s, first name that comes to my mind. Although probably the president of the 20th century who deserves more credit than even Reagan was Reagan's kind of presidential idol, Calvin Coolidge. Give us, just start there, the Reagan-Coolidge connection, and who was actually more successful in limiting government during their time?
Well, of course, Coolidge, and I would modify that by the Harding-Coolidge period, because Harding started it all and Coolidge continued it, a very fine job of it. But they actually cut domestic spending, and they cut it after a war, which is very difficult to do. When we have a big war, or even small wars, the government goes up both in terms of defense spending, but also in terms of government programs. Interest groups find that their lot improves during warfare, and they like to continue the subsidies or the favorable regulation afterwards. And so it's very unusual to cut spending. And, of course, Coolidge was able to cut taxes, but he made sure that he cut spending. Unfortunately, in Reagan's case, and he set the recent model for George W. Bush and probably now Trump, is we cut taxes, but we increase spending. And because if you don't do anything, the government is on autopilot to increase spending. You can cut some of it, but they didn't really cut much in Reagan's time because government increased not only in the absolute sense, but as a portion of the GDP. So what we had was yawning deficits, and of course Ronald Reagan had the biggest, the smallest net tax cut of any Republican in the post-World War II history. And the reason for that is he had to raise taxes in 6 of 8 years to make up for the yawning deficit. So somebody either have to raise taxes, or you have to print money, or you have to borrow a lot of money and pay interest. So this idea that we're going to cut taxes, not cut spending, and we're going to get it back, really, the empirical record is not very good. Tax cuts paying for themselves.
But to be fair to Reagan and to other presidents too, you have to factor in Congress when you talk about their records. And I believe in 6 of the 8 years of Reagan's presidency, he actually proposed budgets that spent less than Congress. But for most of his term, he had to deal with Tip O'Neill.
Well, of course, he should have factored that in when he cut taxes. I think he should. It's also a quick case of priorities. If people come in and say spending is my number one priority, Reagan had a tremendous mandate when he first started, and if he hadn't started out on the taxes, if he started on the spending, of course, even the Democrats are going to vote to reduce taxes if we have a big surplus, because politicians don't like surpluses. And so I think it's a question of priorities among these presidents. And I'm not necessarily dragging Reagan through the mud, but I think, this model where we cut taxes, we don't get around to doing the spending. We should cut spending first, and then we can certainly lower taxes when we pay down the debt. But of course, we have such a tremendous debt, $20 trillion. We probably should run surpluses for a while to pay down that debt before we cut taxes.
There's an idea.
I would just say don't do anything with taxes now, and let's cut spending for a while. Let's see how that works. We never do that because, very frankly, politicians can get elected with cutting taxes, but spending cuts people like their programs. They don't really want to pay for them. And, of course, the people that really suffer are the kids and the grandkids, either people who can't vote or people who are not born yet, who have to pay all the interest on this huge debt that we have.
Now, in your book, you focused on Herbert Hoover as well, and you said that he didn't do enough to end the Depression. Can you explain that?
Well, I think he actually did too much to end the Depression. I think, prior to Herbert Hoover, we all always focus on FDR, but Herbert Hoover was a progressive Republican, just like FDR was a progressive Democrat. And what Hoover did was came in and he started when the economy went south, starting with the Wall Street plunge in 1929. Hoover really started jawboning all the businesses not to lower their prices, not to keep wages high and keep prices high so that the things wouldn't plunge, and therefore that violated the free market. And a lot of Hoover was very proud that wages didn't go down and everything, but when you have a recession, wages need to go down for a while so you can re-equilibrate the economy. And therefore, what Herbert Hoover did was very counterproductive. And also, of course, he started a bunch of government programs, which FDR really expanded that idea when he got into office. So I think Herbert Hoover probably created the Depression from a mundane recession. And, of course, then FDR made the Depression worse. With his policies.
So we've run through a couple of the less successful presidents on the score of limiting government. From the 20th century forward, the 11 presidents that you reviewed, who would you say had the best record at actually limiting the size and scope of the federal government?
Well, certainly Harding and Coolidge are the stars in that regard, because they lowered domestic spending after a war. Which is extremely hard to do, and they did cut spending as well as taxes, and I think that's the model. I think we have to pay for the government that we have, and we can't go into these idea that we're going to have tax cuts that pay for themselves. Then now you may get a little bit of revenue back because of the economy goes better, but historically it really hasn't panned out. We've got all these dynamic scoring models or whatever. You just have to look at history. And I think we need to quit doing that. People love tax cuts. I understand that. But, we racked up $20 trillion of debt, or plus, actually more than that now. And, it's headed north there rather than south. And unfortunately, Trump, during his business career, was called the king of debt. And so I'm not sure he's going to be one to cut spending unless the Republican Congress can make him do that. But almost nobody... This is how we define conservatism nowadays, is you cut taxes, and I think that's a mistake. I think we have to define it as cutting spending, because that's the main thing. And we can always cut taxes, but I think you have to own up and pay for the government that you have. And if people want big government, then they're going to have to pay for it. But I think that's the biggest weapon that you have, is you say, listen, we've got to pay for the government that we have, so let's cut the government. And I was the only person in Washington, I think, that liked the sequestration, where you had to make automatic cuts in the government. Now, they didn't, when they put that in, actually the author, that was Obama, but he didn't really want to put that in. He said, well, if we don't make other cuts, we're going to have to cut it across the board as a threat. Well, of course, then they got in loggerheads. The Democrats and Republicans couldn't agree on what cuts to make, so they did this sequestration, and we've been doing that, and it has been restraining spending almost accidentally. Now it's not cutting spending, but it's restraining spending, and I think that's what you really need. Is you need some sort of a decision rule that says, listen, everybody's got to sacrifice here. We have to have cuts across the board. That's the only way you can politically cut spending, and they've done it. At least they've restrained it, and I think they probably should go further than that than they have.
So, Ivan, through your research and studying these 11 presidents, who do you think was the worst for the economy?
Well, I guess you probably have to say, Herbert Hoover, since he inadvertently caused the Great Depression by, he was the first president that thought the government ought to ensure everybody a job. full employment. And of course, the Democrats picked this up, and other and Republicans have since picked it up, that the government was responsible for getting people a job. Now, that seems like a wonderful idea, but in the old days, for most of the U.S. history, people didn't expect the government to get you a job. They expected that the government would provide security and maybe build some roads and canals and that sort of thing. But when you start doing that, the government gets involved. It doesn't do a very good job of it. So I think Herbert Hoover really started the ball rolling in making the government responsible for getting everybody a job, because I think when the government tries to do that, it interferes too much with the economy. And I think that brought a whole cascade of problems, including the Great Depression and all the big government that we have now.
What would you say is the single best example of reducing the size and scope of government and accomplished by the 11 presidents? The single best, the single greatest accomplishment of reducing spending?
Well, I think Harding and Coolidge, as I mentioned, reducing domestic spending after World War I. I think also both Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton after the Cold War was over. And of course, there are events that...
But I mean, a specific thing. So when you're talking about Clinton and Gingrich, you're talking about welfare reform?
Well, I think that was one big thing that Clinton did that, went against his party. And I think sometimes we look at party labels too much, and we should really look at the figures and, facts as well. And I think we haven't had many successes in reducing government, but I think that was one as well, yes.
All right, he is Ivan Eland. He is the senior fellow and director of the Center on Peace and Liberty. The book, 11 Presidents, Promises versus Results in Achieving Limited Government. Ivan, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, love letters to Kim Jong-un. But first, here's your forecast. Some fog in spots this morning, otherwise sunshine giving way to clouds, a high of 48 degrees. Tonight, a couple of showers later, and tomorrow morning you'll wake up with light rain and cloudy. By the afternoon, warmer, a high of 52 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Eden's inbound. It's heavy. Cicero to Montrose. It's 22 minutes. Lycook Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 23 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 24. Mount Eisenhower, it's snarled. Wolf to Des Plaines Avenue after a crash. And then slow Damon to the Burn Circle, 47 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 36. Stevenson, the main delays are First Avenue to Kedzie. It's also slow Ashland to the Ryan, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop Fort, 39. There's a crash at the Steel Bridge on the right shoulder. Work on Tri-State slow Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Spot Adams Tollway, stop and go from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Other tollways are okay. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Oh, as flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself against cold and viruses, but you know how to protect your computer network. Ransomware, viruses, hacks, intrusions, it can cripple your company's computer network, stopping business in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Can your data be restored easily? If not, you need to make an appointment with Turnkey IT today. Turnkey IT provides frontline security for your network and its data. So if there's a email attachment opened in error or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and fixes the situation. They'll arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring software systems to stop those virus outbreaks before they have a chance to spread. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against this season's worst bugs. See what a dose of Turnkey IT can do for you. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. If you're purchasing a home within the next year, this is very important. Your credit score is the most important factor in determining your interest rate and monthly payments. I strongly advise listeners purchasing a home to contact me as far in advance as possible so I can pre-qualify you for free. I will analyze your credit and make recommendations to improve your credit scores so you can secure the lowest rate when purchasing a home. Paying banks and other lenders a fee to get pre-qualified is ridiculous. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com and get pre-qualified for free. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Ever since I was little, I imagined owning a bakery. With hard work, I made it happen. But after this weekend's robbery, I realized that I need to protect my dream with security.
I've got a great answer for you. Alarm Detection Systems, your local family-owned business, understands the threats you might face. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 and find out how we can protect you. License number 127000143.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
Despite President Trump's repeated requests, Senate Republicans failed again to repeal Obamacare. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker, C.S. Tucker, from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the past 6 years.
Thanks, Dan. ACA open enrollment is now only 45 days long. From November 1st to December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition. And depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. With narrow networks, even fewer choices, and higher deductibles, now more than ever, you need an expert to help you gain access to the best hospitals and specialists available. Call me. I can help.
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I just have to mention this. This story kind of has been subsumed by Roy Moore and the president's trip to the Far East and so forth. But the Army lifting a ban on waivers for recruits with a history of some mental health issues.
Yeah, and the timing couldn't be worse. I mean, Devin Kelly, they failed to report the Air Force, failed to tell the FBI about his mental illness.
People with a history of self-mutilation, bipolar disorder, depression, and drug and alcohol abuse can now seek waivers to join the Army under an unannounced policy enacted back in August, according to a report by USA Today, documents they obtained from the Pentagon. This is, I guess, a way to address the challenge of recruiting 80,000 new soldiers, by September of next year.
Why would they be doing this?
An Army because they need to hit their numbers, I guess. But Army spokesman Colonel Randy Taylor says that expanding the waivers for mental health is possible in part because the Army has now now has access to more medical information about each potential recruit. The Army had issued a ban on such waivers back in 2009 amid an epidemic of suicides among troops. But now, because of the increased availability of medical records and other data, they can better document the medical histories of applicants. It's a red flag, but the question is, how much of a red flag is it when somebody comes to the table to enlist with a history of certain mental health issues? I mean, yeah, are they aware of what happened in Sutherland Springs, Texas? Also, this is sort of underreported too, but a report by the Pentagon Inspector General 20 years ago in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this has improved. I don't know that there's anything updated, but the crime reporting issue, the 97 report by the Pentagon IG, fingerprint cards were not submitted to the FBI criminal history files in more than 80% of cases in the Army and Navy and 38% in the Air Force. Failure to report the outcome of criminal cases was 79% in the Army, 50% in the Air Force, and 94% in the Navy. The lack of reporting to the FBI criminal history files prevents civilian law enforcement agencies from having significant information on military offenders, the report concluded. It's worth perhaps doing a little bit of a stop, look, and listen. The incident with the shooter in Sutherland Springs, Texas, we may have other examples because of systemic failure. This is sort of like talking about the VA's failure to provide health care to veterans. It's a systemic failure. It's not a one-off incident. And it seems like we may have that problem in our armed services. And so to exacerbate that by reinstituting waivers for recruits with histories of mental illness, this strikes me as odd. I mean, it strikes me as just
But we don't know
dangerous.
if they're doing it because the recruiting numbers are low? Because there's always people who want to join the armed forces.
Well, why else would they be doing it? I mean, that's essentially
Maybe discrimination lawsuit? I don't know.
No, it's the challenge of getting hitting their numbers, 80,000 new soldiers by September of 2018. That's the point. It's about hitting the number.
Well, I'm okay if people are recovering from alcohol or drugs. That's fine. But the other areas, self-mutilation, that's a little iffy.
Depression? Bipolar? Boy, I don't know. I mean, so now go one terrorist attack back to Manhattan. Nearly 30,000 diversity visas have been given to immigrants from terror states since 2007. Permanent residence visas to 20,000 Iranians, 7,200 Sudanese, 812 Syrians. Now, again, I'm not suggesting everybody from any of those countries is a terrorist. No. But remember, one of the questions we had, and now the sainted of the left, Jim Comey, said, we can't properly vet Syrian refugees. So this is a diversity lottery. So how well are individuals being vetted who are winning these diversity lottery visas from state sponsors of terror or countries that are otherwise beset by terrorism and have, significant radical Islamic terrorist activity? I mean, so you had the terrorist attack in Manhattan, you have the domestic terrorist attack in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and you have a government that seems kind of, willfully blithe about the systems in place to prevent those kind of atrocities. It's just disturbing stuff, and I think people should understand it and, petition their member of Congress to, snap out of it. And no government agency should be exempt from scrutiny, including the Pentagon, including our armed services, for goodness sakes.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
2 professors pen a tearjerker of a love letter to Kim Jong-un. I'm not kidding.
And later, how some are protesting President Trump by putting him inside them. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 35 degrees. Alabama's Senate Republican candidate, Roy Moore, denying new accusations this morning that he sexually assaulted a woman when she was a teen and he was in his 30s.
I never did. What she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her.
Moore telling reporters the mounting accusations against him are politically motivated. Beverly Young Nelson went public with claims when she was 16, Moore groped her and assaulted her in a car back in 1977. Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake this morning says Moore needs to be replaced.
I hope that we can get another Republican on the ballot. If we can't, then there's no way that somebody ought to support this Republican.
Senate Majority Whip John Cornyn has now withdrawn his endorsement of Moore as well. Attorney General Jeff Sessions looking into the sale of a uranium company and whether a special counsel should investigate the Clinton Foundation. Aftershocks rattling Monterey County, California. After residents felt a 4.6 magnitude earthquake late yesterday, geologists have recorded more than 30 California aftershocks. Millions of Americans who did not have high blood pressure when they woke up yesterday morning may have some serious questions today. Medical groups, including the American Heart Association, are lowering the standard for what's considered high blood pressure. The new threshold is now 130/80. The line used to be 140/90. 2 are wounded following a shooting on the Chinatown feeder in Chicago. It happened on the ramp to the outbound lanes of the Stevenson Expressway. Chicago police investigating a surge of carjackings in the city. At least 5 vehicles were stolen yesterday. No arrests have been made. Meantime, charges are pending following a police chase that began in Chicago and ended in Oak Park as a vehicle crashed on the Eisenhower Expressway near Austin Boulevard. Former Chicago alderman says he will challenge Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle in 2018 after she championed that highly unpopular sweetened beverage tax. Bob Fioretti is a 2-term Chicago alderman and ran unsuccessfully for Chicago mayor. College hoops last night, DePaul a win. Northwestern got by St. Peter's. UIC fell to St. Joe's. Monday Night Football, Carolina crushed Miami 45-21. The news, a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands, where is it convenient and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager delivers the news you will not hear anywhere else.
Well, the vast majority of Americans don't know the things that I report to you every day. They have no idea of what is happening to their society. They don't. 99% of the country doesn't know any of this stuff. That's quite the problem. That's why we have to make this stuff known.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
By the time I reached 1 year period, I had lost 2 inches off my waist, and I lost 17 pounds.
I think they're part of the reason that I was able to shake 10 pounds, and I think because the support, nutritional support. My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
You've got a good product. It's just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on that morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound, Eden's traffic is stop and go from Church Street to Montrose. It's 27 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 21. Inbound Kennedy now heavy most of the way in. It's 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 13 from Montrose, 11 on the Express. Outbound 19 minutes to Montrose, 35 to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower delays kicking at St. Charles. We're looking at 53 minutes from 390 to downtown. And make that 57 minutes now from 390 to downtown. It's 43 from Manheim. How about 38 to 390? Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 41 from the Tri-State. How about 36 minutes to 355? Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford, 30. Northbound Tri-States, though, Harlem to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, the other tollways look great. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast is a service of SoFi. Don't hit snooze when it comes to savings, and don't let student debt slow you down. Refinance with SoFi. Members save $288 a month on average. Learn more at SoFi.com/traffic. Terms and conditions and some state restrictions apply. CFL license number 605-4612. Patchy fog in the forecast this morning. Otherwise, sunshine through the midday and afternoon clouds. High 48. Currently, we have 32 at O'Hare and 36 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldstone Financial, helping you become financially independent at goldstonefinancialgroup.com.
Joe Walsh here. Donald Trump Jr. is communicating with WikiLeaks, an enemy of the United States. That's despicable. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Boy, the New York Times is, really is Pravda, American Pravda. They're spending months with this Red Century series featuring op-ed writers waxing nostalgic for the Soviet Union. Truly, where they kind of gloss over, to the extent they mention at all, the Soviet Union murdered 60 million people in the 20th century. And
so they're erasing history?
Well, they're
or trying to.
But they're just rewriting it and stylizing communism in the 21st century. And oh, by the way, and Dinesh D'Souza and I had this conversation over the weekend at our Freedom Fair.
It's Freedom Palooza.
Freedom Summit,
Yeah.
Freedom Fest. Fascism, which is, the buzzword of the left these days. The Nazis were National Socialists. Communists, International Socialists. They're both movements of the left. And so the New York Times wants to spruce them up a bit for the 21st century, since the history of their implementation in the 20th century was particularly bloody. And then we had yesterday that law professor, Yeshiva University, my kids can't be friends with white kids. It's not possible for white people or for black people to have true friendships with white people. That was the thrust of the piece.
I know, but are you kidding me?
I'm not.
My kids
I know.
have African American. Should I not allow Anu to come to my house ever because he's African American?
Well, you can be civil, but it's just superficial, because you can't truly be friends with the white devil.
Oh, so I've had him in my life for 5 years. I'll just kick him out because of the color of his skin.
No,
okay.
he just no.
Sure, no more sleepovers for you.
No,
more birthday parties.
You've got it wrong. It's your white centrism. It's his. He needs to be suspect of you. He needs to be on guard of you and your sons.
He already is.
because you're not a person of color. You're a person of Swede. So now from the New York Times today, we get this.
Weird letter.
An open letter of love to Kim Jong-un.
Can we cue up the sappy love songs, please?
This is from two professors.
I've been reading it. It's really strange.
David Kim and George Yancey. An open letter to Kim Jong-un, North Korean despot. We write you as two American citizens, an African American and a Korean American, considered men of color in our own country, have suffered with our people under the history of America's white racist violence, yet who still dare to love. Just as we have faith in our fragile and imperfect American democratic experiment, we have faith that you believe in something more courageous than words of war. These are supposedly serious professors. One's at Emory, the other's a religious studies professor at where's Kim?
Just say University of Iowa.
No, I don't think so. We know that love is dangerous.
Is love kind and patient?
It is. And dangerous.
I hate that at weddings. Ugh. Love is patient. Love is kind.
It'll be great when David Kim and George Yancey exchange vows at their wedding.
Good.
We know that love is dangerous because it requires facing one's own brokenness and vulnerability. Yet both of our nations are morally broken, imperfect. We're the same.
Yeah, really?
America's imperfections, not substantively different than North Korea's.
They're not really, yeah.
Neither of our nations has much to give the other because each has failed to risk itself.
Oh, my God.
And it's out of our collective and respective cowardice, our refusal to risk, to love, to combat our mutual cynicism, that this letter of love arises.
I love this part. There are many here in the United States who will say that this letter is absurd, useless, even treasonous. Well, if love is treasonous, then we take joy in it. I mean, what?
Yeah. I'm guilty of love in the third degree, these two. So George Yancey, that was George Yancey writing. David Kim.
Who do you want to play? Do you want to play Yancey or Kim?
I'll play Kim after I play Yancey. As a Korean American, I have to acknowledge you as both as one of my people and very much not of my people. My mother's family is from North Korea. You and I are from common stock, but a land does not make for family. If anything, you and your father have shown how land and nation can destroy families and traumatize them for generations. Okay, we're getting somewhere. You are the leader of a nation whose people have suffered at the service of a political vision. At what cost has your loyalty to power come to your people, let alone your humanity? Okay, that's a proper review of the Jong family's reign in North Korea. But then he goes on to talk about how radical love, most powerfully and persuasively articulated and represented by Martin Luther King Jr., is a tradition that can bind us together in a common purpose, the way that the civil rights movement bound disparate people together in a common purpose. We reach out from you to you from this tradition that holds the value of speaking truth to power with love. We come to you as citizens of America not yet fully realized, one that insists that the ways of love can be the ways of democracy, that the challenge of loving one's neighbors and enemies is fundamentally a call for freedom and justice and hope. We write to you with love and an appeal for forgiveness and mercy because history and our lot demand this of us. I'm sorry, why do we owe North Korea an apology? And our hope is that it will demand the same of our fellow citizens, wishing you peace and love.
David. And George.
And they had little hearts at the bottom of it.
A little emoji.
This is the kind of false moral equivalences. Neither of our nations has much to give the other because we're both flawed. We're flawed in the same way. And the sophisticated, barbaric sentimentalism that leads to states like North Korea. And this was a topic of conversation with Dinesh D'Souza over the weekend. I just want to refer you to it. It'll be posted at upstream-ideas.com later this week. But D'Souza's latest book is about the Nazi roots of the Democrat Party in this country. And he talks about little genuflections to conformity and ideological enforcers, how totalitarianism is given rise. Listen to D'Souza.
Nazis wanted all the instruments of culture to be in lockstep. Well, that's what the left is enforcing in America today. The whole meaning of political correctness is Gleichschaltung. Now, obviously, we don't fly swastikas, we don't do the Heil Hitler salute, but all the acts of conformity that we do to bow down to the prevailing ideology. You know, a professor will never dare say he anymore. It's got to be he, she, or more likely she. That's Gleichschaltung.
Or Z.
Right, this is what I'm saying. Exactly. These are all little genuflections of conformity that basically say we recognize the superiority of the reigning ideology, and more important, we recognize the power of the people who enforce that ideology to punish us if we step out of line.
And what Yancey and Kim are arguing is sort of what Shelby Steele has referenced, that America has no moral authority. And that their prevailing leftism in this country is what needs to be enforced, through love, but a love that is not patient and kind.
Exactly.
Yeah. Steve in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, Dan, I'm an average white listener in Hinsdale, and here's my hope. Let's package these two academics along with Dennis Rodman, ship them all to North Korea, and I really don't think we would be missing much in America. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks, Steve. I would throw in the name of love. Don't stop in the name of love. I would throw in both James Franco and Seth Rogen, too.
Oh, yeah.
For good measure.
That's right, for good measure.
Hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
By the way, just for clarification, because these institutions of higher learning are off the list for Peyton and Eli, so cross off Emory University, where George Yancey is a professor of philosophy, and Connecticut College, where David Kim is a professor of religious studies.
Never heard of Connecticut College. D2 school, maybe? Maybe D3? Coming up, Mattel reveals its newest Barbie, and she has on a hijab. Did I pronounce that correctly? But first, here's your forecast. Areas of fog this morning, otherwise some sunshine, giving way to clouds, a high of 48. Then tonight, a couple of showers through here, and tomorrow morning, you'll wake up with light rain, then turning mostly sunny by the afternoon, warm, a high of 52 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. The northbound tri-state's getting heavier now. Delays from Harlem to LaGrange Road, from Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, mixed in right at the Eisenhower. 290, there's a crash blocking two right to center lanes. So on Reagan Tollway, it's gummed up from 83 to the tri-state. Northbound Veterans Memorial, little congestion approaching the Reagan Tollway. Eden's 27 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound the same. The Eisenhower's 58 minutes from 390 to downtown, 45 from Manheim, outbound 43 to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Puerto Rico wants $94 billion in hurricane aid. The U.S. deficit rose sharply last month, and the British Parliament to vote on Brexit. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Puerto Rico's governor formally requesting $94 billion to help the island recover from hurricane damage. So far, Congress has approved nearly $5 billion of aid, almost 2 months after the storm. Most of Puerto Rico still without power, thousands of U.S. citizens homeless. The Treasury Department says October's deficit was $63 billion, up 38% from a year ago. For the federal government's budget year that just ended, the deficit totaled $666 billion. British officials say Parliament will be given a chance to vote on the final withdrawal agreement between Britain and the European Union. The promised vote means lawmakers will be able to scrutinize and oversee the Brexit exit. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Gentlemen, it's No Shave Movember. Time to change the face of your health for the better. Take the first step and get your levels checked by someone you can trust. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. Their service, fantastic. Their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men for low T. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. With their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in about 20 minutes, and most health insurance is accepted. This Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test with an assessment for just $50. Guys, take the first step. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Proft sent you. And after you visit them at 625 North Michigan Avenue, Amy will take you out to lunch at the Purple Pig. The number again, 312-239-3427. Call now, 312-239-3427, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little. You make too much. You don't pay enough. You didn't build that. You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
2 strong banking teams have united to help you continue to grow your business with the same dedication and even more opportunities. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. The same team you know and trust now brings deeper resources, global banking reach, and the power to help your business seize new opportunities. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit us at CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
The IRS doesn't mess around. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. If you owe back taxes, call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief. Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
So your son got home safe last night? Tom said he had a flat tire.
Yeah, he was out past curfew and got stuck on Route 1, but Liberty Mutual went out and took care of it for him.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, a flat, jump, or tow. It's no problem no matter where or when with their roadside assistance.
What was he doing out so late anyway?
Getting himself grounded for a month.
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Optional 24-hour roadside assistance coverage. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, new Barbie from Mattel announced Monday at Glamour's Women of the Year Summit.
Oh, you were there. That's why you took a few days off.
Yeah.
I saw you in the first row.
Right.
You look great, Dan.
I escorted Linda Sarcer, the women's march organizer. I was the guy with the pea hat on.
Oh, that was...
Yeah.
I thought that was you.
The new Barbie wears a hijab.
Yeah, she sure does.
To honor a Muslim American...
The fencer.
The Muslim American woman who competed in the 2016 Olympics wearing a hijab, right.
Yeah, and she tweeted out that she is honored. Thank you, Mattel, for announcing me as the newest member of the Barbie family. I'm proud to know that little girls everywhere can now play with a Barbie who chooses to wear a hijab. This is a childhood dream come true. And then there's an emoji of somebody crying because she's so happy. So do you think it's going to sell?
Well, perhaps among Muslim families in America.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 million Muslims in America, so
bye-bye
I guess
blonde
there's
hair.
a market.
Bye-bye blonde.
Well, yeah.
We've been replaced.
Yeah, right. No, yeah. Your time has passed.
First Andersonville, and now Barbie.
And don't forget, I mean, for those not keeping track of how Barbie and Ken have been changing over the years, let me also address Ken. Ken's been introduced...
What's he doing?
with 3 new body types: slim, broad, or original, 7 skin tones, and 9 hairstyles, including the man bun.
No.
Yeah, there's a man bun
that's
Ken.
right. We talked about that.
Yeah, there's a man bun Ken.
And he's wearing yoga pants, too. Oh, I'm sorry, activewear.
Yeah. And
he's pushing a stroller. And he lives in Lakeview.
And he's a chick. That's what's happened to Ken. So you got that little change up, too, to accommodate 2017 America. So enjoy it, gender fluid children.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to pick up the Roy Moore story and also talk about the fall of the Podestas and perhaps the fall of Hillary Clinton yet with David Drucker at 7:07.
And what really is the relationship between Donald Trump Jr. and WikiLeaks? We'll start there at 7:07. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 37 and partly cloudy right now. 2 are in custody after a police chase ends up with a crash in Oak Park. Bob Fioretti running for Cook County Board President. Dave Stewart with the latest on that story. And DePaul and Northwestern with college basketball wins. WINT Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Could there be a second special counsel? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Just looking into this is a big step forward.
Republican Senator Chuck Grassley reacting to Attorney General Sessions ordering the Justice Department to look into an Obama-era uranium deal, and if that involved financial dealings with the Clinton Foundation, as an FBI informant claims. Sessions, meanwhile, will be under more scrutiny today, especially from Democrats in the Russia probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, watch for lawmakers to grill the Attorney General on what he knew about reported contacts between the Trump campaign and Russia. His appearance before the House Judiciary Committee follows the announcement of a guilty plea by former campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, who's been cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller since July. Sessions will likely refuse to answer questions about his private communications with President Trump, as he has done in previous testimony. Dave?
Rachel, another Roy Moore denial after another accuser came forward.
I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false.
The Alabama Republican Senate candidate, his wife by his side last night, claimed he didn't even know the woman who accuses him of groping her in a car 40 years ago when she was 16. Beverly Young Nelson alleges Moore tried to force her into sex.
I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop.
Some Senate Republicans are urging Moore to quit the race before the election next month. President Trump's on his way home, saying he made a lot of friends at the highest level in Asia.
We've had a tremendously successful trip. Tremendous amounts of work was done on trade.
He says they got the message. The U.S. is open for trade if it's fair. They found a lot more bodies in the earthquake rubble in Iran. It's now 530 people dead from Sunday's powerful quake near the Iraqi border, also injuring more than 7,000 others. Another bullet-riddled body found in a Tampa, Florida neighborhood early this morning where they suspect a serial killer shot 3 people in a 10-day span last month. prompting Tampa's mayor to urge police to bring his head to me. Fox News, fair and balanced.
37 degrees, partly cloudy skies. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 are wounded following a shooting on the Chinatown feeder ramp in Chicago. State police say the victims were shot inside a vehicle last night on the ramp to the outbound lanes of the Stevenson Expressway. Meantime, Chicago police are investigating a surge of carjackings in the city, more than 5 yesterday, and charges are pending following a police chase that began with a stolen car in Chicago that last night ended up in west suburban Oak Park, where the stolen vehicle crashed on the Ike near Austin Boulevard in Oak Park. Former Chicago alderman says he'll challenge Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. Bob Fioretti hoping to use the lingering resentment over the county's ill-fated pop tax to run for board president, as AM 560's David Stewart reports.
Bob Fioretti stood in the Lansing Municipal Airport to launch his challenge to Board President Tony Preckwinkle.
It is time to rise up and take back Cook County government from the political insiders that have been ruining it and running it for so long.
Fioretti warned that Preckwinkle could bring back that penny-an-ounce sweetened drink tax if she's reelected. Fioretti refused to rule out new taxes, but said the current unfair tax structure is driving people out of the county. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A judge ruling a suburban Chicago woman remains in the care of the Illinois Department of Human Services for the 2010 death of her 4-year-old daughter. Prosecutors say DuPage County Judge George Bacalus on Monday denied Marcy Weber's request for conditional release. School officials statewide reporting districts are having a hard time filling teaching positions. The State Journal Register says an Illinois Association of Regional Superintendents of Schools survey shows 75% of state districts have fewer qualified candidates than in previous years. 16% of schools have canceled a class or a program because of the teacher shortage. College hoops, DePaul picks up its first win, crushing Delaware State. Northwestern a win over St. Peter's. UIC falls to St. Joe's at the Pavilion in overtime. Monday Night Football, Panthers over the Dolphins. Cody Bellinger, your National League Rookie of the Year in baseball, while Aaron Judge named the AL Rookie of the Year. The news service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes, manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard, post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing much more than just a rate. Let me ask you, does calling the company with the best client service in America, with 11 J.D. Power Awards to prove it, matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative, client-focused technology, matter? Does calling the company with 17,000-plus team members who are helping to rebuild the great cities of Detroit and Cleveland matter? Of course it matters. No wonder our clients have made Quicken Loans America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
7:06. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Seeing big delays on the northbound tri-state. There's a crash at the Eisenhower. 2 right lanes are blocked. It was 3 at one point. It is jammed solid from Cermak to the Eisenhower. Farther south, we also have northbound slowdowns, Harlem to LaGrange Road and from the Stevenson to 31st. The Adams Flow is okay. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, it's bottled up from Myers to the Tri-State because of that crash on 294. Northbound Veterans Memorial now slow Belton to the Reagan Tollway, Butterfield to Roosevelt, and Army Trail to 290. Edens runs 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 22. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 54 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown. 46 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 44, 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishopport, 28. All clear on I-80 and in northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Patchy fog with some sun for the morning, then clouds increasing. High today 48. Couple of showers late tonight, low 44. Tomorrow, occasional rain followed by breaks of sun. High 52 and a mainly clear and colder night tomorrow night, low 31. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, we have 32 partly sunny skies at O'Hare, 36 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So here's the thrust of what was alleged yesterday at a press conference by Beverly Young Nelson against Roy Moore, Republican nominee for U.S. Senate in Alabama. Mrs. Nelson, who was working as a waitress at a local restaurant in the county where Roy Moore was the district attorney 40 years ago as a teenager, said that when Roy Moore offered to give her a ride home, she lived a couple miles from the restaurant. Instead of giving a ride home, he took her behind the restaurant where it was dark.
In his car, yeah.
And then this happened.
Instead of answering my questions, Mr. Moore reached over and began groping me and putting his hands on my breast. I tried to open my car door to leave, but he reached over and he locked it so I could not get out. I tried fighting him off while yelling at him to stop. But instead of stopping, he began squeezing my neck, attempting to force my head onto his crotch. I continued to struggle. I was determined that I was not going to allow him to force me to have sex with him. I was terrified. At some point, he gave up. And he then looked at me and he told me, he said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
And she was very believable, and it was painful to watch this, and especially when she talked about, you know, the repercussions of his actions. When he grabbed her neck, she had bruising.
When I got home, I went to my room, and the following morning, my neck was black and blue and purple. In the days following, I covered the bruising on my neck with makeup.
And Roy Moore and his wife, first time we've heard from his wife, responded to the allegations made by Beverly Young Nelson. They had a little press availability outside a volunteer fire department in Moore's home county. Here's Roy Moore.
I want to make it perfectly clear. The people of Alabama know me. They know my character. They know what I've stood for in the political world for over 40 years. And I can tell you without hesitation, this is absolutely false. I never did what she said I did. I don't even know the woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't even know where the restaurant is or was. And if you look at this situation, you'll see that because I'm 11 points ahead, or 10 or 11 points ahead, this race being just 28 days off, that this is a political maneuver and has nothing to do with reality. It's all about politics.
Mm-hmm. And Moore's wife then took to the podium.
I'd like to let my wife make a few statements.
I've been married to this man for 32 years. We've been together for 33 altogether. He has never one time lifted a finger to me. He is the most gentle, most kind man that I have ever known in my life. He's godly. He's loving, and everybody in this community knows it. These are our church members. These are our family. These are our friends. These are people that know him just like I do. These things are false, and it's ugly. It's the ugliest politics that I've ever been in my life.
Well, it's going to get uglier because Mitch McConnell has called for him to step down, saying he believes the women. Virtually everyone has.
Even Senator Ted Cruz.
Right, basically saying unless he can essentially produce exculpatory evidence in response to these charges, then he should step down as well. For more on this topic and others, we're pleased to be joined by David Drucker, senior political correspondent for the Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com. David, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
So there's been talk about possibly a write-in candidacy, but it seems that that would only ensure the Democrats' victory. There's talk about having the Alabama governor push back the special election date to give time for a replacement candidate if they could cajole Moore into stepping down. How do you see this playing out after yesterday's events?
Well, these things can be hard to predict, but for now, I believe that Roy Moore is not going to go anywhere. He has a history of sort of persecution and martyrdom as a political figure, twice being ejected from the state Supreme Court because he wouldn't agree to federal court rulings. And so I don't see why, in this case, he would simply walk away, especially because he's so close to winning a race that's so big. And he possibly can count on grassroots support that will stick with him simply because the so-called political establishment and the so-called liberal media is arrayed against him.
Do you think that if he is, because he is a defiant human being, we all know that, do you think that he will be expelled by the Senate if he does win the special election in December?
Well, Cory Gardner, who's the Senate Republican campaign chief, and no doubt he did this with Mitch McConnell's approval, said that he believes that if Roy Moore wins on December 12th, he should be expelled by the full Senate. I believe it would take a two-thirds vote. And I think we're seeing enough Republicans line up against Roy Moore that can happen. But I think that sort of goes to my point about the two ejections from the state Supreme Court, where he was elected Supreme Court justice. He was elected once to be the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court in Alabama. It's an elected position. He wouldn't follow a court order. He was ejected. He ran again and won. And then the court ruling came down on same-sex marriage. He wouldn't enforce it or follow it. He rejected it. He was ejected again. That's the train in the background. I apologize. And so
don't miss your stop.
I think that a guy like Roy Moore might be ejected from the Senate and simply run again.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the concern, obviously, McConnell and other Republicans have is not just losing this seat, but the potential that Roy Moore would be an albatross around the necks of Republicans come 2018 cycle.
And I think it's a valid concern. Look, I saw this in 2012 with Todd Akin when he refused to get out of the Missouri Senate race. He didn't just cost Republicans that race. Republicans everywhere had to answer for Todd Akin's comments. And fair or not, that's the way this works. And Republicans in particular, when you talk to them about 2018, some of them still believe it won't be as bad as they fear, but they do concede that they have a big potential problem with female voters, particularly female voters in the suburbs. And if Roy Moore is elected to the Senate and he stays in the Senate, he's going to command a lot of microphone attention because he says all sorts of things that are very politically charged. And a lot of people are interested in the things that he says, even they don't like what he says. And I think, it'll put Republicans in a position of having to answer
about this idea?
Later, they'll be asked what he said 5 minutes after that.
I had a great idea. I think it's a great idea. The other day, having Attorney General Jeff Sessions resign as Attorney General and go back to, his roots, go back to Alabama and be the write-in candidate. Do you think that would be a possibility?
I don't think so. I don't think Sessions wants to resign. I think that he's put up with a lot of abuse as Trump's Attorney General from Trump, and he didn't resign then. I think because this is a job he really wants. He spent a long time in the Senate. This, I think, is a sort of dream job for him. And I also think that given Jeff Sessions' sort of populist appeal and how he functioned in the Senate, I don't think that he would necessarily feel comfortable participating in a sort of scheme, as it would be seen, to outflank the duly nominated Republican in a race by going around him as a write-in candidate. And I wonder how Alabama Republicans would react if it wouldn't just backfire, considering that Trump would have to bless this move. And Trump, more than any other politician in America, runs around complaining about rigged elections and unfair accusations. And so I think it makes it hard for him to push more out in that event. And I think it makes it hard for Republicans to profit from a move like this, particularly in a state like Alabama, where Trump is among more popular there than he is maybe anywhere.
Speaking of Jeff Sessions, what are the prospects that Hillary Clinton may and the Clinton Foundation may yet face a special prosecutor that her ongoing omnipresence may walk her right into being the target or one of the targets of federal investigation?
Well, I mean, Trump is pressuring Jeff Sessions to do something about this after Hillary Clinton. And, of course, it wouldn't be Washington if we weren't investigating the Clintons. And so there may be an investigation. It probably would do the Democrats a favor, a roundabout way, because it might ensure that she doesn't run for president again, which would be really good for them. But we'll have to see what they decide.
David, we're losing you there. Your connection is
special problem. But Jeff Sessions will be testifying today before the House Judiciary Committee, so maybe he'll have something to say about it.
All right. He is David Drucker, senior political correspondent for the Washington Examiner. David, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Anytime.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine today. Morning fog is gone, and we're going to have some clouds by this afternoon. A pleasant high of 48 degrees. Tonight, a couple of showers late in the evening. And then tomorrow morning when you wake up, we'll have light rain in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies by the afternoon. And warm. We're going to touch into the 50s, a high of 52. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. It's a big jam on the northbound Tri-State Tollway from around 115th and Ridgeland up to the Eisenhower Expressway. There was an earlier crash there, so it's stop and go all that distance. Eastbound Adams Tollway, a little slow lead to the Tri-State Reagan Tollway, due in part to that earlier issue on 294. It's backed up to Highland. Highland to 294 is where the delay is on the eastbound side of 88. Northbound Veterans Memorial Slope out most of the way to Roosevelt. Army Trail to 290. Eden's 30 minutes. Like Cook to Montrose outbound 22. Kennedy an hour. O'Hare to downtown outbound 55 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and 10 minutes. 390 to downtown outbound 48 minutes. Stevenson an hour 355 to the drive outbound 38 minutes. And the Ryan 24 minutes 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spraveri, CEO of Spraveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spraveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Your sump pump is the only thing in your home standing in the way of water rushing in and damaging the personal belongings you care so deeply about. Yet it is often the most overlooked and unappreciated system in your home. Your car has a check engine light, your computer warns against viruses, and your fridge tells you when to change the filter. So why shouldn't a sump pump warn you if there's a risk of losing tens of thousands of dollars in water damage? A pump that just beeps warnings at you is no good if you don't hear it. Over the decades of our business, we have experienced and analyzed every reason why people's homes flood. With today's technology, we believe that flooding is not just unacceptable, it is now completely preventable. That's why today's best practice for flood prevention is to install a protector system with built-in self-testing and notification. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. So on this matter of Roy Moore, look, for those who are still rallying to Roy Moore's defense, the only way he can survive this is sort of what Ted Cruz said, provide exculpatory evidence. Short of that press conference, that impromptu presser he had yesterday where he and his wife just made a statement,
Yeah.
that's not enough. He is going to have to hold himself out for all questioning about this incident. He says he doesn't know, never been to that restaurant, doesn't know the woman. He's going to have to answer questions about that, answer questions about the yearbook, answer questions about other suggestions that he was, stories out that he was banned from a local mall for trolling high school girls, according to those, according to recollections by those who used to frequent the mall and who described that, what a security guard had said about Roy Moore.
Yeah, and somebody that worked at a place called the Record Bar said that he'd heard people, oh, that's Roy Moore, he's supposed to be banned from this. I think that this is just piling on, really, that he is banned from the mall, because I want to see more evidence rather than just a guy who worked at a record store listening to a security guard say that he's banned from the mall.
So do you believe Roy Moore's denials?
Part of me, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But yesterday, that woman was really, I mean, I felt her pain. I watched the whole, I watched the pregame when Gloria Allred spoke for a half hour because that's what she does. And, she talked about how those two met each other, that this woman, Deborah Young Nelson, Beverly, contacted Gloria Allred after reading the Washington Post article because she empowered felt empowered to come forward finally.
Yeah, I mean, let me.
But I still, the bottom line is, I think the people of Alabama should be deciding who represents Alabamans in Washington.
Well, they may very well. Look, here's the thing. I understand people that distrust the Amazon Post and the D.C. Press Corps. I do too. I understand people that don't trust Mitch McConnell and the GOP leadership in the Senate in particular. That's fair. But you can be distrustful of the D.C. Press Corps and the Republican leadership and also be properly skeptical of Roy Moore's denials in response to these accusations, because that's where I'm at.
I think he completely lied. He said, I have never heard of the old Hickory House. That's not, he was a regular there.
You can also point out the hypocrisy of the left. I get it. On Bill Clinton and so many others. I get it. There's a piece in The Atlantic by Caitlin Flanagan. This is just fantastic. Bill Clinton, A Reckoning, where Ms. Flanagan goes through those feminists like Gloria Steinem who defended Clinton in the 90s and talked about the allegations from Paula Jones and Juanita Broaddus. Those were, or not Juanita Broaddus, she didn't even address that, but Paula Jones and others. Those were passes, not crimes, wrote Steinem at the time. Flanagan writes in The Atlantic, the Democratic Party needs to make its own reckoning of the way it protected Bill Clinton. The party needs to come to terms with the fact that it was so enraptured by their brilliant big dog president and a stunning string of progressive accomplishments that abandoned some of its central principles. Of course, the reckoning is called for now because Bill Clinton has no political value. So it's safe to pursue a reckoning of Bill Clinton. There's nothing courageous about what the left is proposing.
But I mean, how could Bill Clinton survive when there was a parade of women coming forward? Jennifer Flowers, Paula Jones,
right?
Juanita Broaddus, and
but the point
different times. I mean,
but the point is to apply a standard regardless of partisan affiliation. So I mean, we are supposed to. A lot of people believe Juanita Broaddus and Paula Jones and Jennifer Flowers and Kathleen Willey. But you're not going to believe any of the accusers of Roy Moore just because you distrust Mitch McConnell and distrust the Amazon Post?
There's also a yick factor because they were so young. But again, she was 16 too. She met him when she was 15, and she turned 16, in November, and then that incident happened in December.
Patriot Dawn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I'd like to stand up in support of Roy Moore and his wife. And I'm going to say this as a woman who has really experienced rape and attempted rape and who has a daughter to prove it. I do not believe what these women are coming forward to say. Also, I have a father who is 20 years older than my mother. They loved each other. They dated when she was a teenager. They had a wonderful marriage, and they took care of each other until he passed away at age 83.
Okay, Don, but we're not. But we're not talking.
Just because a man is older than a woman does not make him a predator.
Don,
I want to see Roy Moore get due process. He deserves to be able to finish his campaign without interference from either Mitch McConnell or the left.
Mm-hmm. Don, we're not talking about an age difference anymore, are we? We're talking about sexual assault, the accusation of sexual assault.
Yes, I've been raped, and I have been raped by a man who jumped out of a closet and attacked me and strangled me after breaking in through a window in my home in the middle of the night. Maybe everybody could express concern about the illegal aliens who have committed so many rapes and homicides of women in Illinois and across the country. Maybe we could show some sympathy for them.
Okay, thank you for the call, Patriot Dawn. Appreciate that. We'll pick up this conversation on the other side of the news.
But now let's go into the newsroom and say hello to Mike Scott.
37 degrees. Skies this morning are sunny. Alabama Senate Republican candidate Roy Moore facing a fifth accuser that claims he sexually assaulted her.
He said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
Beverly Young Nelson speaking out yesterday saying she was 16 when Moore assaulted her in the 70s. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says it's in everyone's best interest now for Moore to quit the race.
I suggested to be best for him, the state, his family, the GOP, and the country be stepped aside.
Moore is denying all allegations again this morning. The death toll continues to climb after a magnitude 7.3 earthquake struck near the Iran-Iraq border on Sunday. 530 have lost their lives. 8,000 are injured. This morning, Florida police are investigating what they say is a suspicious death in a neighborhood where some now fear a serial killer is on the loose. Tampa police say it's too early to tell if a shooting in Seminole Heights is connected to 3 other gun murders committed in the last month, but a spokesperson for Tampa police say they're leaning in that direction. Tesla's California factory faced with a lawsuit. It alleges it is a hotbed for racist behavior. A former employee filed the suit Monday claiming that while the factory is on the forefront of the electric car manufacturing surge, it's in the pre-civil rights era when it comes to discrimination. Chicago police are investigating a surge of carjackings in the city, 5 alone yesterday. New allegations are surfacing against former Chicago alderman and attorney Ed Verdoliak. The lawyer accused of pocketing millions in unauthorized legal fees as part of the state's massive settlement with tobacco companies in the 1990s. FEMA denying and deciding against helping victims of last summer's record flooding in the area and denying the request of Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner. FEMA Administrator Brock Long saying the agency determined damage from flooding in Cook Lake, McHenry, and Kane counties was not beyond the state's capability to address. Now, the governor is asking for low-interest loans from the Small Business Administration. College hoops last night. DePaul a win over Delaware State. Northwestern got by St. Peter's. UIC at the Pavilion fell to St. Joe's. Northern Illinois takes on Green Bay at home tonight. The news service of SoFi. Don't let student loan debt slow you down. Refinance with SoFi. Members save $288 a month on average. Learn more at SoFi.com/traffic. Terms, conditions, and state restrictions apply. CFL license number 6054612. 734. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
When you purchase an alarm system, you do it for one reason above all others. You need to know something about the people or property under your care. Knowing that what matters most will be looked after by professionals when you can't be there is a comforting feeling. At Alarm Detection Systems, we've learned a great deal from our decades of service. We know how to treat customers on the phone. We know that installing quality security products using certified technicians is the only way to go. We know that same-day service and local monitoring will provide the safety and peace of mind you're looking for. You no longer have to wonder if your home or business is protected by your alarm system. Know that it is. At home or on the go, the information you seek is right in your hands. It's good to be in the know. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300 or online at adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
736. Let's get an update on your morning commute. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound Tri-State traffic is stop and go from 115th to the Hinsdale Oasis and from Roosevelt to North Avenue. Southbound of the Tri-State, we have delays from 132 to 176. Very heavy. It's From Adams Tollway tight lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway delays Highland to the Tri-State. The Veterans Memorial from Boughton most of the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. Southbound 53, it's heavy Palatine to Kershaw. Eden's 29 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, an hour and 9 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 52 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and 10 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 48 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 18, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 53 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes from 95th to Loop. Traffic service of Chevrolet. It's the Chevy closeout. The 2017s are going fast. Find special closeout pricing on many of their most popular 2017 Chevy models. Visit your local Chevy dealer. Trade up to a new car, truck, or crossover today. Chevrolet. Find new roads. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast will have patchy fog this morning, sunshine in the midday, clouds later this afternoon will top out at 48. Currently 32 at O'Hare and 37 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. All right, we'll continue our conversation about Roy Moore, but here's the ground rules.
We've got rules now?
Well, I don't want to hear moral relativist arguments. I want to hear an assessment based on the merits of Roy Moore and the allegations against them, how he's handled them. Don't tell me about Bill Clinton. I got it. So stipulated. Don't tell me about other bad actors left and right. So stipulated.
Kevin Spacey's happy he sent Roy Moore a fruit basket.
Yeah, right.
Took the pressure off him.
Louis
C.K.,
the
all
Hollywood.
those people.
Don't tell me about all of a sudden the left has standards and morality. I concede the left's hypocrisy. I got it. This is not about me tooing, to borrow a phrase of the day, or what about the other. This is what about the four corners of the Roy Moore case. If you were an Alabama voter, would you vote for Roy Moore? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Would you?
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the evidence that was presented yesterday, the signed yearbook, the story that was told, I don't know how he could survive. But again, I want it to be up to the Alabama voters.
So if you were an Alabama voter, would you vote for him?
Over the Democratic challenger, yes, I would.
I'd skip the race. Bob in Ottawa, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy.
Morning.
You know, going back 40 years, how is somebody supposed to prove that? And one of the things that woman said yesterday, she said that he had reached over and locked the door and she couldn't get out. I'm 62 years old. I've been driving for a long time. I have never been in a car where in the front doors, if it's locked, it will not open to the inside.
Yeah.
In the back seat, yes. Was she in the back seat or what else happened? And on top of that, the Republicans have painted him into a corner. Even President Trump has said, well, if these allegations are true, then he has to step down. So if he steps down, he's admitting that it's true. He vehemently denied that it's not true. And yes, Dan, I would vote for him.
Yeah, the whole car lock situation, that's yeah, okay, fine, but that's hardly dispositive of the issue. He's got to address the yearbook. He's got to address.
What proof does she have? He doesn't have any proof.
Well, I understand, but there's other things now Roy Moore has said, like he doesn't know that restaurant. He's never been in that restaurant. He doesn't know that woman. I suspect in the coming days you're going to find people that contradict Roy Moore's statements about that. I mean, it's Bob. I'm not done. It's not just this woman either. It's not just this woman either. The number of women making accusations, the number of stories coming out. This is very difficult to believe. This is some kind of well-coordinated, well-orchestrated attack by the left, by moderate Republicans, by the establishment, with all of these people who don't know each other, synchronized just perfectly a month outside the election. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Well, of the 5, I mean,
Thanks for the call, Bob.
2 of them claim that he sexually abused or assaulted them. The other one said he was a perfect gentleman, and their moms wanted to marry or go on dates with him because he was good marriage material.
Yeah, the problem is Roy Moore says, I didn't date them, or if I did, I don't remember.
Yeah. And I can't get over the restaurant thing. I don't know why that
Was
bothers
it
me.
was it customary for you to try and date teenage girls when you were 32-year-old district attorney?
After getting back from Vietnam.
No, well, okay.
I'm just saying,
No, generally it wasn't. No, generally it wasn't. That's what he said to Hannity. And
just own it. I mean, if you like younger women, what's the big deal? It's not illegal.
well, we're beyond
In
that
Alabama.
now.
Now
We're back to the Korfman, who was 14 at the time, and that's a standalone problem. And now Beverly Young Nelson and the allegations that she made at that press conference yesterday. David and McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. Love you guys. My whole problem with this woman that just came forward, whatever happened, I don't know what to believe, who to believe, but come on, she must be up for an Emmy Award by Gloria Allred or something. He touched me 40 years, 3 months, and 2 days ago, and she's on there bawling. Give me a break.
So you don't believe her.
David, thank you. So you're not buying that. I mean, she did explain that she and her husband had talked about her coming forward previously. She didn't want to do it, and that the other women who came forward gave her the courage to come forward as well.
I don't think she was making up the story. I mean, they did a really good job with rolling out the timeline, presenting evidence. You know, they talked about the yearbook, then boom. Because my thought was, well, then where's the yearbook? And then after the press conference, they brought out the yearbook.
Don't forget, I mean, think about other cases where you have multiple accusers. Bill Cosby. Once one woman came forward.
75,000 more came forward.
Well, right, going back 30 years.
Yeah.
At least. Weinstein, same thing. Once Ronan Farrow wrote that story and opened the floodgates, then a lot of a lot of women, walk through those floodgates. So, the kind of the timing of it, the why didn't she or why didn't they report this 40 years ago? Well, there's potentially a lot of reasons. I ask again, do you believe Roy Moore? Do you believe Roy Moore? That's the question, really. George in Mokina.
Well, good morning, everyone. For starters, he can't back out because then he's admitted guilt. Number two, if I was in out, I would vote for him. Number three, how many times do we have to fall for the same scenario where how many women were brought forward on Trump that said he did this, he did that, and where are those women today? They crawled back into the hole where they came from. This has happened time and time again. If he gets elected in Alabama, then the people of Alabama will have elected him. If these allegations are true, then somebody's going to come forward with charges. And then we can go forward with the story. But until that happens, these are nothing but allegations, innuendos. And this woman who said the door was locked and this, and she's got a timeline. As far as I'm concerned, she's the biggest liar that's hit the.
Well, how do you know? Based on what?
I don't know. She's a liar.
Right.
But this is time and time again. The Democrats have played the same scenario.
Well, what about? So did you? Well, George, to play devil's advocate. Did you believe Paula Jones? Did you believe Juanita Broaddrick?
Well, there's enough evidence. Wait a minute. I don't know about Paula Jones and all those people, but LaMonica Lewinsky, do you believe her? What happened in the White House?
Yes.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? What happened to LaMonica Lewinsky in the White House? Do you believe that, Dan?
Yes, I do.
Okay, there's one instance you believe. The rest of them,
no,
I
believe. I believe in many more instances. Thanks for the call, George. I believe in many more instances. That's sort of the point.
But how did you feel? I know you didn't want to relitigate Jennifer Flowers or Paula Jones, but when that was all happening, part of me was like, but that was consensual between you two, and now you're crying he sexually abused you.
Well, Jennifer Flowers, it was consensual.
Yeah, but
that
she
was
said
an
at one
affair.
point in time he there was an incident where she didn't want to do anything and he forced her against his will. Blah blah blah.
Well, again, you start to get a multitude of accusers who don't know each other telling similar stories, and unless you can address the specifics of their charges, a blanket denial just, frankly, is not particularly compelling. I mean, I understand Roy Moore's wife essentially stating what she has experienced in her time with Roy Moore, and that very well may be the truth. But she only can essentially testify to what she knows. And there are just a lot of unanswered questions. Roy Moore saying this is all just a political hit job without addressing the specifics is problematic and not persuasive. Megan on the South Side.
Yeah, hi guys. If he doesn't address his allegations specifically one by one, if he does do that, doesn't that open him up to more questions and he's giving, legitimacy to the claims if he does that? That's my question.
Well,
and also,
okay.
go ahead.
Well,
Well, doesn't he have a responsibility to the constituents of
to
Alabama to respond?
He does. People comparing this to the Jack Ryan case, and there's no comparison, but let's just for the sake of argument in terms of how that was approached.
Right.
When the divorce files were made public, Jack Ryan held a press conference. I know because I was there, where he took questions from reporters. Now, he didn't perform very well, and he made some unbelievable strategic mistakes that I won't relitigate. But he held a press conference to say, okay, I'll take questions about the contents and the allegations in the divorce file. Roy Moore needs a little bit more of a public vetting on these issues than just issuing the statements that he and his wife issued last night.
I'd agree to that, definitely, but I'd also say that, is this guy really the same person he was 40 years ago? I know I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. I've grown and learned so much since then, and why do we have to hold these men accountable for actions that they committed when they were in their early 20s? I did so many things in my 20s that I'm so embarrassed of I wouldn't want anyone to know.
Did you commit sexual assault?
Well,
Dan, that's personal.
Thanks for calling. That's important. And also, too, if you've said I did bad things and I've changed, well, then you have to disclose your conversion story.
As a Christian, does he need to come clean
Well,
and ask for forgiveness?
If he's guilty. Anthony in Winthrop Harbor.
Hi, good morning. Hey, there's one thing about the new Roy Moore accuser that at least has been proven to be demonstrably false, in that she said she was a Trump supporter and she voted for Trump.
Yeah,
and people have investigated that. Turns out she's not even registered. So she lied about one thing. I'm thinking fruit from the poison tree. I'm not sure how much I believe the rest of her story.
Maybe she
Maybe
voted
true, may
along
not.
with her husband.
Beverly Young Nelson, you're talking about the woman at the press
Yes.
conference yesterday is not a registered voter? That's what you're saying?
That's correct.
I haven't seen that.
We'll
I'll
have to
look
look
that
into
up.
that,
All right, thanks for the call, Anthony.
Well, she said she and her husband supported Trump. So maybe, he voted for Trump on
She
behalf
said
of
they
her.
voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Chris in Janesville.
Hello?
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, I actually would vote for Roy Moore because I just don't believe these women. And I know Amy does, and I'd like to give him the benefit of a doubt, but 40 years is just too long to keep all this secret, and I just don't believe them.
Okay, thanks for the call, Chris.
Did you believe Beverly, Dan, when you watched it yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you buy her story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
For me, it solidified it when she talked about the bruising, how she had to cover it up.
Yeah, what do people think? All these stories are being planted in these women who don't know each other by Gloria Allred or the Washington Post? What's in it for them?
I'm surprised the Washington Post didn't find Beverly.
You also, Beverly also said she's not suing Roy Moore, so no work for Gloria Allred.
And she would testify before Congress or a Senate committee hearing if she had to.
Yeah, I don't know, and part of it is I believe her, and based on Roy Moore's interview with Hannity and his responses so far, including yesterday's, I'm finding him less and less believable. It's the combination of the two. Verlon on the South Side.
You know what? Ted Cruz needs to find exculpatory evidence that his father wasn't hanging out with Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
And you see how silly an accusation is when somebody levels it against you? In this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Me and Sean's been arguing back and forth for the last couple of days about this. He has daughters, I got daughters. But if I go off of fact, and if something like that happened to me, it happened to him. He'll go off of raw emotion like the left and just say you're guilty. No, you have the right to face your accusers in a court of law and be proven wrong. So it's either you believe in the Constitution or you don't. See, and Sean Hannity has this right.
Verlin.
Republicans have no backbone. We ready to throw ours off the boat soon as an accusation is made. But liberals, they'll circle the wagons and defend theirs.
Well, right. And so, Verlin, there's one way to describe that as no backbone. Another way to describe that as standards. And Verlin, well, that is number one. Number two, again, we're talking about an election. Roy Moore is not on trial, so no, there is not a constitutional right to face your accuser in the context of a political campaign, Verlin.
No. What does that tell you? To what end does this lead? It's a political hit job. They're only doing it politically. Let me bring it back home for a second. What about Derrick Rose? Don't act like all these women and sugar and spice and everything nice. What about Derrick Rose? That woman lied and said he raped her and his friends. What happened to that woman? Nothing. And it tarnished his reputation when he tried to put a lawsuit against her. What they say, you're rich and powerful and you doing something wrong to this girl, you can walk it off. But it's mud on his name now. What about Kobe Bryant? Her best friends turned against her and said she was lying. It's lying women out here, man. Don't act like that.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. Yeah, I understand that there are cases where there have been false accusations, and we've talked about them, from Duke LaCrosse to Tawana Brawley to Rolling Stone and the UVA rape case. I get that. We're not talking about a single allegation from a single woman here. And we're talking about, in my opinion, less than a compelling response from the accused, and not a detailed one either. And so we can, again, kind of raise all of the other examples of cases in this realm. A candidate for federal office, United States Senate, and multiple accusers independently painting a similar picture. It's a different story than those other cases that proved to be fraudulent. And so you have to address the merits of this case. Dawn in Plainfield.
Hi, good morning. I really honestly don't know if I would vote for him or not, but I don't know if any of these allegations are true, but the one person I would be listening to is his wife. There's a saying that, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. And I just think if this guy was that much of a sexual predator, that in his 30s, you wouldn't see him change in his married life. So I don't know if these allegations are true, but when his wife says he's been faithful, I think that speaks a lot. And that's kind of, as a married woman, that's kind of what I'm pulling from.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to what she has to say.
Thanks for the call, Don. Well, I mean, okay.
But these all happened before she even met him.
Well, oh, by the way, when we were talking about this yesterday, before the news broke about Beverly Young Nelson, what do we say with respect to the accusations made by Lee Kaufman, who was then 14 years old? If this is true, it's probably not going to be isolated. And then 2 hours later, Beverly Young Nelson comes forward.
If somebody molests kids, there's not just one victim. There's always more.
So we may not be done here.
Well, that's the thing. But so there's two right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
we may not be done. We've seen this happen before. I would exercise real caution in terms of giving Roy Moore a clean bill of health on this. Nick in Chicago.
Good morning, Danny. I got a quick question. If you got accusations against you, how come you just don't stand up there and say, hey, I'm innocent, I'm going to take a polygraph test, get that out of the way, and start to sue? I mean, do you not want to sue? Because if you sue, everything comes out in the open. But if you're 100% innocent, hey, I'll take the lie detector test, and, I'm going to start to sue.
Well, he's threatened litigation against the Washington Post.
Thanks for the call, Nick. Well, here's the other thing. He's also said, and so now you start making these claims, and then you either back them up or you don't. He's also suggested they were, and he did it on the Hannity interview, that they were doing their own independent investigation and there would be information coming forward that would tend to either support his case or impugn the integrity of the accusers. And we haven't seen that yet either. Now, I know this is just the first few days, but that's a claim that Roy Moore made about his campaign and what he was doing to respond to these allegations. So he's going to have to prove up more than he's offered so far, and he's going to have to do it soon.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing, totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now, and this is the first time, and I can't even thank you enough.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
Mike Gallagher isn't surprised by the media's behavior anymore.
And of course, the media corruption on this is unbelievable. If you're going to report breathlessly on the indictment of Paul Manafort and this guilty plea by Papadopoulos, how do you not include in your media coverage what we found out about the Clinton campaign and the DNC? But they don't even mention it in the media coverage right now. Shocking. The media's corrupt. I know that's news to you, huh?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer. It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He's flying home. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump headed back after a 12-day Asia trip he calls tremendously successful, saying they got the message on trade.
We want fair trade. We want reciprocal trade. And you'll see a lot of great things happen.
The president also confirmed he asked China's president for help, dealing with 3 UCLA college basketball players arrested in China last week, accused of stealing sunglasses from a store. And the Wall Street Journal reports the 3 players were spotted at a Chinese airport a short time ago, checking into a flight back to California. Now, when the president returns, he'll go to Capitol Hill Thursday, supporting House Republicans who hope to pass a tax bill this week. Donald Trump Jr. is again making headlines in the Russia probe. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president's eldest son exchanged private messages with WikiLeaks during the presidential campaign. At the same time, the website was publishing hacked emails from Democratic officials. In the messages, WikiLeaks urged Trump Jr. to promote the site and suggested that President Trump challenge the election results if he didn't win. Trump Jr. did not respond to many of the messages, but he alerted senior advisors on his father's campaign, including his brother-in-law Jared Kushner and Kellyanne Conway, who now serves as counselor to the president. Dave?
John, Attorney General Sessions will face questions again today in the Russia probe. Democrats are skeptical about his past testimony, not knowing of Russian contacts in the Trump campaign. Meanwhile,
we could be looking at a new special counsel. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has directed the Department of Justice to, quote, evaluate whether one should be appointed to look into the Clinton Foundation in that Uranium One deal.
Fox's Griff Jenkins, that deal involved Russia, approved by the Obama administration. Another body found in Tampa, Florida early this morning. Police treating it for now as a possible fourth victim of a serial killer in the same neighborhood.
It appears he was crossing the street to meet up with someone. Someone came up from behind and shot him.
Police Chief Brian Dugan, Fox News, fair and balanced.
37 and sunshine this morning, partly cloudy skies. Call it at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 2 are wounded following a shooting on the Chinatown feeder ramp. State police say the victims were shot inside a vehicle last night on that ramp to the outbound lanes of the Stevenson Expressway. Chicago police investigating a surge of carjackings in the city. At least 5 vehicles stolen yesterday. Meantime, charges are pending for a pair of suspects following a police chase that began in Chicago and ended in Oak Park when a stolen vehicle crashed on the Ike near Austin Boulevard. Chicago alderman who has pleaded not guilty to federal corruption charges and who collapsed during a city council meeting says he will not seek re-election. Willie Cochran said his decision not to seek re-election is unrelated to his federal indictment on bribery charges or the recent illness. Former Chicago alderman says he's going to challenge Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle in 2018 after she championed that highly unpopular sweetened beverage tax. Bob Fioretti announced his candidacy yesterday.
Sadly, we learned that in Cook County, a penny earned is not a penny saved. It is a penny taxed.
Fioretti is a 2-term alderman and ran unsuccessfully for Chicago mayor. DePaul picked up its first college buckets win of the year, crushing Delaware State. Northwestern got by St. Peter's. UIC fell to St. Joe's at the Pavilion in overtime. Carolina's Panthers beat Miami on Monday Night Football 45-21. Cody Bellinger, your National League Rookie of the Year in baseball. Aaron Judge claims the American League honor. The news, a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here is Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the Home Depot's business improved over the summer and early fall. Its earnings for the recent quarter were stronger than expected. Regional banks and credit unions could be receiving a break from some of the regulations in the Dodd-Frank law. A bipartisan group of senators has reached agreement on the changes. The regulations were approved after the 2008 financial crisis. Community banks and small financial institutions were required to follow the same rules as big banks. Walmart's relationship with Lord & Taylor becomes official in the spring. You'll be able to buy Lord & Taylor products on Walmart.com. There will be a dedicated page on Walmart's site. Walmart's head of fashion, Denise Incandela, says our goal is to create a premium fashion destination on Walmart.com. The Dow was up 17 on Monday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender involves so much more than just a rate. Only Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards. No other lender comes close to that level of client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage. It gives our clients a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online in minutes. No one else has anything like it. And our people. Each one of our 17,000-plus team members throughout Detroit, Cleveland, and Phoenix provides absolute client satisfaction each and every day. So why would you go anywhere else to get your mortgage? Go to America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gevalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
It's 8:08, and a check of your morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Metro reports delays on the Union Pacific West line. Their train stopped outside of Geneva. Emergency track repairs are going on. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 35. Kennedy, an hour and 9 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 36 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 26 minutes from 390 to the Circle. 59 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 58 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour 15. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State, it's jammed, 132 to 176. Northbound 115th to 31st, and Roosevelt to Lawrence. Veterans Memorial slow Boughton most of the way to Roosevelt. Army Trail to 290. Traffic service of Walgreens. With little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient, and where do I matter? At Walgreens, the corner of happy and healthy. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, patchy fog for the morning, some sun giving way to clouds for the day. High 47. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a couple of late-night showers, low 44. Occasional rain followed by clouds breaking for some sun tomorrow, high 52. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
36 at O'Hare, 37 along the lakefront. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, picking up our conversation about Roy Moore and the future of Republican control of the Senate. Here's one way I would consider voting in that race if I were an Alabama voter.
All right.
There's one way.
How can we get Dan Proft on Team Moore?
Well, I'm just trying to address some of the arguments that are being made and dispense with some of the ones that are not particularly compelling. And by the way, I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but both of us in our own during our own lives have been accused of things that were totally false.
Totally preposterous. You allegedly fathered a child with some hussy.
Right.
Well, I'm saying that, not you.
This was when I was running for governor.
Right.
But I mean, there's just, anybody in the public eye and you're political, and so you have enemies, particularly me, more so than Amy. You're going to have people that make all kinds of reckless allegations, all kinds of baseless charges. Yeah, but I mean, so but my point is to say I'm sensitive to that. I don't just, any accusation should be believed. I'm not that guy. But this isn't just any accusation. You have to address them based on the quality of the case. And the quality of the case that's building against Roy Moore is pretty good. And the quality of the defense being offered by Roy Moore is not particularly good. And so does he have an opportunity to address this? He sure does. And he's going to need to, because what he's said so far is insufficient. Now, if he were to say this isn't about Roy Moore, and, a write-in is not going to win at this late stage. So if you vote for Roy Moore, and I win, then I will step down and allow the governor to appoint a replacement. Because it's about holding the seat for Republicans. It's about the majority in the Senate. It's about moving a conservative reform policy agenda. And so I'll, fall on the sword if I'm elected and resign the seat and turn it over to the Republican governor of Alabama to make an appointment. Now, by the way,
he's so defiant. I just don't see him.
I don't see it happen. I'm just saying
That's an option.
And by the way, let's remember in Alabama too. I mean, Alabama voters are going to start getting weary of this too, like Illinois voters. The current governor took over after the previous governor Bentley resigned over his own sexual indiscretions.
I forgot about that.
So
that's why I listen to this show.
So I mean, that's one option. But where Roy Moore is right now, he either has to prove up on the investigation he said he's going to do and what he's going to reveal that suggests that the accusations are untrue. He needs to stand and deliver in front of the, National Press Corps, because that's what it would be, and answer questions about the specific allegations specifically. Or otherwise present some sort of, exculpatory is probably too strong a word, but evidence to suggest that the allegations are not true. By the way, and this is, what happens here, somebody suggested that Beverly Nelson, who said yesterday that she and her husband voted for Trump, she couldn't have voted for Trump because she wasn't registered to vote. That is not true. Looked it up. Her status, according to the Alabama Secretary of State's office, was inactive voter, which just means they didn't respond to a mailing request to update their information. They are still eligible to vote as a normal voter. So, I mean, you want to go after the accusers. This is, why people are resistant to come forward sometimes, because they know they're going to be scrutinized. And scrutiny is fair. They're making serious charges. They're potentially impacting the outcome of an election. That's fair. But, we got to fact check them, too. And so she is a registered voter. So she very well could have voted for Trump, as she said.
And Alabama voters, I mean, a lot of them are sticking by, according to Roy Moore's people, sticking by, offering to put campaign signs to help out with the phone banks. But listen to this Alabaman, if I said that correctly, who's a Democrat. This is what they think is really happening in Washington.
Roy Moore is my friend. I'm a Democrat. I'm not going to vote for him because I'm a Democrat. But I've known him a long, long time. The thing that bothers me about those charges is that he's been in public life, run for many offices, and as many times as it's happened, no one's ever said anything till now. And I don't think it comes from any place except Washington. It comes from Washington. It comes from the Republican Party.
Yeah, so they think moderate Republicans are trying to take down Roy Moore.
So if the Republican establishment was orchestrating this, why didn't they do it in the primary so Luther Strange would have won?
Exactly.
If they had this,
why didn't this come out when he was in that that runoff with Luther?
I agree that it's surprising.
Oh, it's so surprising.
It's surprising that it's taken this long for these allegations to surface. There seem to be rumors that have swirled around Roy Moore for some time. This is you're getting the sense of this from all the reporting and now the digging. So it is unusual, but sometimes women just don't come forward until they come forward. I mean, what can I tell you?
No, they have kids, and they know that their kids will be ridiculed or bullied or shamed in school. They don't want to bring that upon their family. Sometimes, things that happen in the past stay in the past for a reason. And you could tell yesterday, you could just see the relief as she told her story. And I know a lot of you and our listeners think that was acting and she made that up, but I truly do not believe that this woman's lying.
Thanks for the call. Excuse me.
What? I did call in.
Excuse
was
me.
I on the
phone?
turkey
Jeez. Upside down here. Mark in Valpo, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Amy's always on Chicago's Morning Answer. That's the difference.
Yes. Yeah. What I wanted to say was that we have to look at the time frame also here. We're talking about something that happened in 1977. Okay? There's a 16-year-old girl in a small town in Alabama who comes home late. I know when my 16-year-old daughter came home late from work, it was like, where are you at? So she walks into the house. She's late from work. A 30-year-old man drops her off, okay, and she's got bruises on her neck.
She wasn't. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. She wasn't dropped off by Roy Moore at the house. She was.
Either way, she comes home late.
She wasn't late. That's not part of the equation.
She has bruises on her neck. I'm calling the cops. I'm a parent, and it's her mom. And I don't care if Jesus choked her. Okay, I'm calling the cops.
Okay.
And I think that most parents would be that way too. So you got to look at that also.
She didn't see her mom. She went straight to her bedroom.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
You're
thanks.
making up stuff.
Thanks for the call, Mark. No, he's not making up stuff. But she says she covered the bruises with makeup.
Right.
But the question is, would a parent otherwise
she didn't
see that, know that for however long it took for those bruises to go away?
Right.
That's not an illegitimate question.
No, but she said when she came home, she went straight to her bedroom.
Yeah, but she wasn't in her
mom.
But she wasn't in her bedroom forever. She also said that she quit the restaurant.
Yeah, never went back. Called the next day and said.
So wouldn't mom and dad want to know why don't you want to go back to the restaurant?
How involved were they in their life? I don't know.
Well, I know I don't either. But there legitimate questions are being raised. It doesn't make her story untrue. It's just questions that are being raised. Jim in Mokina.
Hi, this is Jim in Mokina. I'd like to hear from somebody who served with him in Vietnam. I think he was a West Point graduate.
Yes.
I think he was military police, and those guys did a lot of work supervising the prostitution. I just wondered if we could hear someone who served in Vietnam and how he acted over there towards the Vietnamese women. That would, I think, be the icing on the cake.
They said that he was very strict as a platoon leader, and they called him Captain America. That's the only information I found out so far about his time in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about any of this, whatever he's talking about.
Well, it would be interesting. I mean, there is this story about him allegedly trolling this popular mall where teenagers used to hang out, and one security officer, now this is a hearsay, but one security officer there allegedly banned him from the mall because there's this 30-year-old lawyer trolling teenage girls at the mall. That's a story that's out there. It's hearsay, but it's out there.
Right.
I
just see this as piling on.
Well, I was going to the point of it would be interesting to hear from male friends of his or male acquaintances of his, whether in the war or after.
Right. One woman came out. She was a clerk when he was a judge and said he was the most honorable, decent human being she's ever worked with.
I mean, could it be a Jekyll and Hyde thing or a Jekyll and Hyde thing for a period of time? I don't know. I mean, who knows what lies in the heart of man? Scott on the South Side.
Hey, Dan and Amy, how you guys doing?
Hey.
So I guess my point is, as a conservative, I am terrified of the direction that this country is going in, and why is it that Democrats understand that when they vote for their politicians, they're voting for policy, they're not voting for, whatever they've done in their past? And I want to give you an example. JFK, he's an American hero. He was an adulterer. You're not voting for an adulterer when you vote for JFK. Even Martin Luther King, he was also an adulterer. But it's the policy that they bring. And I can't believe that we're talking about letting this red state suddenly go blue because of something he's done over 30 years ago. I'm not condoning what he did, but even if it's true, conservatives should really still rally behind him because we need as many conservatives in power.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Scott. I mean, the difference is, I suppose, that conservatives say character matters all the time, and it's also character's destiny. And the left says character matters only when it's convenient for character to matter, just as like the Constitution matters only when it's convenient to use the Constitution, and it doesn't matter when it's inconvenient for our pursuit of power. And so the question is, do we want to adopt the posture of the left? I don't. Jane in Burr Ridge.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. Dan, you are a very dispassionate male. I hear it all the time, and that's great.
Maybe that's why he's
you
alone.
are being taken in by emotional females, and this one
What
has
else
been
is new?
coached by the best. Gloria Allred is not a woman who is not an acting coach who has to do a bunch of roles. She only has to work on the wronged woman. That's what she's an expert at. I mean, both my daughters by age 4 could have pulled that off, what that woman did yesterday. But here's the thing, and I speak as a person who was molested as a 4-year-old. So here's the thing about this woman yesterday. You know, when she talks about the makeup she had to put on her neck and all that, have you ever had a man try and put your head in his crotch? The bruises would be on the back. She wouldn't have any bruises on the front. That's only if they're trying to kill you and they have their thumbs on your hyoid bone or something. Why would she need makeup?
Somebody had
Her
suggested
bruises
she
would
had
all be on the
hickeys
nape of
from
her neck.
boyfriend.
So,
Well,
you know,
I
of course, she had to say she was wearing makeup because she has no corroboration and all of that. I mean, she was painting an ugly picture. You've been taken in by the ugly picture, and I think you need to think about what she said and not how she said it.
Well, I mean, I know we had this conversation yesterday too, Jane, but what about, I mean, I was skeptical of Roy Moore before the press conference yesterday from what had the individuals that had come forward previously in the interview that he did with Sean Hannity. So now you've got a 14-year-old that has nothing to do with Gloria, a woman who's 14 at the time who had nothing to do with Gloria Allred, as well as 2 others. And Roy Moore seems to be making middling statements about he knows them, the ones that were of legal age, but he doesn't remember dating them. The other one he doesn't know. So the ones accusing him of essentially of criminal conduct he doesn't know. The ones accusing him of just dating him, he does know, but he doesn't remember dating him.
Well, he knows their parents.
Who's his acting coach? Answer me that. Who is Roy Moore's acting coach?
Well,
He needs one if he's going to go on TV with anybody, even Sean. Okay?
It's not acting,
you need
it's
an
a
acting
PR
coach. How you look
expert.
at the camera, how you present yourself, how forceful your answers are. He needed that. He didn't have that, but she did.
No, he needs not to lie. He knows darn well where the old Hickory house is in his small town. I mean, there's 20,000 people living in that town at the time.
He's the
of course
district,
he knows where he's a
district attorney for the county.
Saying
I
he's
mean,
never been at the restaurant. That's what he says. Stuff like that. He loses credibility. He loses my trust.
I mean, and thanks for the call, Jane. And the other, I mean, so he has to the point is he has to answer those questions. Now, maybe there's a good answers to those questions, but he's going to have to answer them. The yearbook, I know there's things floating around the internet like, that suggest that it's in 2 different colors of ink or some such thing, that it's inauthentic. Maybe it is. Maybe, I don't know. But he's got to answer those questions.
It was a very weird passage, too, that he wrote in her yearbook, about Christmas, Miss Christmas. I don't know.
About
it just didn't make sense. It was just-
no, like a more beautiful. I couldn't think of a more beautiful girl to wish Merry Christmas to, or something like this. I mean, that in and of itself is not
She's a beauty
lascivious,
queen.
but
She is. She even said that she's a former pageant girl
Ken in Geneva.
with red hair.
Yeah, I was just wondering what you guys thought about this being a tactic now that we've started to see in many elections, and we're going to continue to. So there has to be a counter tactic, and what you guys would say the political counter tactic is in preparing for these sexual allegations in every campaign that comes up.
Well, thanks for the call, Ken. I mean, I don't know that this will come up in every campaign. I don't think it will.
No, I think we're in uncharted territories here.
I mean, so
he's a 70-year-old man. He seems like a little off. A little.
Well, I mean, Michael.
He's not a spry young chicken.
Yeah, but Michael Brennan Doherty has an interesting piece in National Review where he basically suggests that if a character like Roy Moore was presented on a TV show, evangelical leaders would be denouncing Hollywood for malicious caricature. Another in a long line of 2-dimensional Jesus creeps, a stereotype that is that had been tired long before John Lithgow's role as the fun-hating preacher of Footloose. That Roy Moore is almost a caricature of himself and a caricature of the evangelical preacher. Mike in Geneva.
I guess particular bothers me, but it's almost like a rabbit hole. I would put it aside. The bigger issue here is that the left knows that we will always fall back on our good manners and want to do the right thing. And so that's why these things keep coming up. If we don't fight, we will never win. They know it, and so they play us on it. We have to use the same tactics. We have to be more pragmatic.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Well, it's interesting because I asked D'Souza that question, Dinesh D'Souza, over the weekend, that exact question. Should we use the brutal tactics of the left that we otherwise don't? Here's his answer.
We don't play the game as tough as they do.
Should we?
Yes, we absolutely should. I don't know if I've said this 10 years ago, but just having lived through these skirmishes, personal skirmishes with the Obama administration, you realize how just completely unscrupulous these people are. I mean, they're essentially thugs. And so I'm more scared of these thugs with badges than I am the Antifa guys on the street. Those guys are a menace. They can run you off the campus. But the reason they're powerful is they're backed by the mayor of Berkeley, who tells the cops to stand down. They've got powerful allies in Hollywood and the media and the Democratic Party. This is what makes Antifa much more dangerous than, let's say the white nationalists in Charlottesville. Those guys have no cultural or political power. So it's part of the big lie of the left to pretend that's the most gravest threat facing America. No, it's not. It's actually a very marginal threat, but it calls attention away from the real threat.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The same banking team you already know and trust at the Private Bank has come together with one of the strongest banks in North America. And we have a new name. The Private Bank is now CIBC. We share the same focus on building strong client relationships, and we're now backed by a bank with over 150 years of experience in putting clients first. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to helping your business grow is now stronger than ever. Visit us at CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy 1, get 1 free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Gentlemen, it's No Shave Movember. Time to change the face of your health for the better. Take the first step and get your levels checked by someone you can trust. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. Their service was fantastic. Their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men for low testosterone levels. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. With their on-site lab, you will get your results back in about 20 minutes, and most health insurance is accepted. This Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test with an assessment for just $50. Guys, take the first step. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number 312-239-3427. Call now, 312-239-3427, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com. That website, lowtcenter.com.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
Whether they take you to the rack or dial it up from three.
Splits the defense, lays it up top. Thomas to the corner, right side. Pog on a travel.
Whether they run a set play or streak ahead on the fast break, we've got all the action right here on the Husky Sports Network from Learfield.
Your NIU Huskies take on the Green Bay Phoenix tonight, starting at 6:45. NIU basketball is on AM 560. The Answer. AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All poodles are dogs, but not all dogs are poodles. I'll explain that in the context of Roy Moore, and we'll take your calls at 8:38.
Let's first, though, go to the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
38 in sunshine. Watching breaking news this morning out of China, where 3 UCLA basketball players who were accused in a major shoplift are reportedly being set free. Wall Street Journal saying arrangements are made right now to send the players back to the U.S. The move comes after President Trump made calls to China's president asking for help in resolving the issue. Alabama Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore facing a 5th accuser claiming he sexually assaulted her.
He said, "You're just a child." And he said, "I am the district attorney of Etowah County. And if you tell anyone about this, no one will ever believe you."
Beverly Young Nelson spoke out yesterday saying she was 16 when Moore allegedly assaulted her in the 1970s in his vehicle. Moore denies all of the allegations. The death toll rising after a magnitude 7.3 earthquake struck near the Iraq-Iran border on Sunday. 530 have lost their lives. 8,000 are injured. Florida police investigating what they say is a suspicious death this morning in a neighborhood where some now fear a serial killer is on the loose. Tampa Bay police say it's too early to tell if the shooting in Seminole Heights is connected to 3 other gun murders committed last month, but a spokesman says this morning they are leaning in that direction. Chicago police investigating a surge of carjackings in the city. At least 5 alone were stolen yesterday. Meantime, overnight, a suburban car chase in Chicago that ended up in the suburbs started with a stolen car. 2 carjacking suspects swiped a vehicle in the 800 block of North Racine. That pursuit ended when that stolen vehicle crashed on the Ike near Austin Boulevard in Oak Park. A judge has ruled that a suburban Chicago woman remains in the care of the Illinois Department of Human Services for the 2010 death of her 4-year-old daughter. The DuPage County judge denying Marcy Weber's request for conditional release. However, the judge says he will reconsider her request in 6 months. A preservation group wants the Chicago home where Emmett Till once lived to receive landmark status. You may recall Emmett Till's killing in 1955 sparked outrage and galvanized the civil rights movement. The owner of that building says he was unaware of the property's history and is interested in ensuring it's turned into something to commemorate Emmett Till. College hoops, wins for DePaul and Northwestern. UIC falls to St. Joe's at the Pavilion. Northern Illinois takes on Green Bay tonight. Last night in Monday Night Football, Carolina over the Dolphins. And the news service of Office Depot, Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year, so let Office Depot, Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture, like maybe a new laptop, or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot, Office Max, taking care of business. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer backed by medical professionals everywhere.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spervery's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
8:38, and a quick check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Inbound Kennedy, an hour and 16 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 48 to the airport. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 35, the Ike, an hour and 26 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 58 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound an hour 5. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State will have a 21 to Bradley. Northbound Harlem to 31st and Roosevelt to Lawrence. That's traffic on AM 560.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Patchy fog is burned off, leaving behind partly sunny skies. High near 48. As we head to the evening, sun will give way to clouds and then a couple of showers overnight. Low 44. Currently 36. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Joe Walsh here. Donald Trump Jr. is communicating with WikiLeaks, an enemy of the United States. That's despicable. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Oh, nice
Good morning.
Song. 19.
Well.
He's been playing songs like this all morning, and you haven't been catching on.
Yeah, I catch on.
Yeah.
Not all of them require comment. I mean, it's just...
19's too old, okay, by the way.
So another argument that people are making, just again to Gary Dotson, Duke Lacrosse, Virginia rape case, Tawana Brawley. Yes, there have been cases of fraudulent allegations. So all fraudulent allegations are allegations, but not all allegations are fraudulent. Do we understand this? And so, for example, the accusations during the presidential campaign about Ted Cruz and the National Enquirer story about him having all these affairs, those were fraudulent allegations as far as we know. And you know how that story went away? is because the women who were reported on as having had affairs with Cruz denied the accusations that the National Enquirer promulgated as a third party. So you have to look at all of these cases specifically. They are fact intensive. So don't tell me about Gary Dotson or Tawana Brawley or Duke Lacrosse. That does not address the specifics of the allegations against Roy Moore. Okay?
I'm just waiting to see if anyone's going to come forward today with another story.
Yeah.
Or, this alleged that he was banned from a mall.
And
they're going to have paperwork, because I just think there's a lot of piling on.
I get a tweet, parsing parts of Roy Moore's biography. I mean, I'm all about being specific. Okay. He wasn't DA until 1992 of Etowah County. Roy Moore's biography on his campaign website. He was deputy DA from 1977 to 1982. So he was a powerful man in the county. He was deputy DA. He was in the DA's office. He wasn't technically the DA. And that changes what exactly? Hey, Jasmine and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan, you had to get on. Diamond was supposed to talk about this. They were talking about this yesterday, and Diamond was going on how she couldn't focus on what the woman was saying because no tears came out of her eyes, but there was snot coming out of her nose. I don't know. I'm just saying. She was just saying, though, that she's not discounting what she said, but can you remember what you did 40 years ago? And all of your, we all had stuff in our past that we'll probably regret. And then after a while,
wait a second. Do you believe the story that he sexually assaulted that woman in the restaurant parking lot?
I don't think it's, wait, are you talking about the woman in the restaurant parking lot? I'm talking about the woman yesterday with Gloria Allred. I don't know.
That's the same woman. Yeah.
Well, I think your caller before brought up a good point where she said this woman said she had bruises, black, blue, and purple bruises on her her neck, and she needed makeup. Well, why would you need them on? Was it the front of the neck?
She just said her neck. She just said her neck.
Her neck.
So
somebody texted me and said, "Oh, she probably had hickeys from her boyfriend."
So do you believe, Jasmine? Do you believe her or not? Because if you believe her, this kind of we all done things in our past doesn't really cut it, does it? You can't just wave off an accusation of sexual assault, or if you believe her, an actual sexual assault when you're in your 30s and say, "Oh, that's in my past. We all make mistakes." I don't want to dumb down sexual assault. Do you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I've got daughters. There's no way I would want to. In fact, something happened to me when I was 18, and I don't want to lessen that. But people do change, right? And if you really can't believe it, look, I don't remember. Do you remember stuff that happened 40 years ago?
Well, I was 5 at the time, but if I was 70 and it was 30, that's a different story. I mean,
but if something significant like that
Yeah,
happened,
come on.
you don't forget it. Look at all these people that have called and said I was molested when I was 4.
He also apparently forgot this restaurant existed in a county in which he was the deputy DA and where he grew up. And come on.
But if you look at what Dinesh said, Dinesh made a great point. These guys are sexual. Look, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. The same goes for the GOP establishment. They will do whatever it takes. Karl Rove did this to John McCain right before 2004, 6, or something, one of the elections. So they're going to come up a lot.
So you're satisfied with Roy Moore's response to this point?
I'm not sure I'm satisfied, but I think the Sean Hannity interview, if you listen to it carefully, he is kind of like, no, I don't remember this, and frankly, I don't remember things that happened 40 years ago either, or 30, or sometimes even 20. And who's to say he hasn't changed since then? But I really don't think. Look, what happened to Menendez? Why aren't we focusing on Menendez?
We've talked about Menendez because the jury's deadlocked right now. So as soon as they come back with a guilty plea, or they remain a hung jury, or they acquit him, we'll talk about it. We're not ignoring Menendez. So what? What does that have to do with Moore?
That George Bush even grabbed him. Should he not?
Come on. The allegations again. You're talking about Herbert Walker Bush?
There's a new 16-year-old girl that came out.
Yeah. Are we seriously? Come on. We're seriously going to compare that with the allegations against Roy Moore? Come on.
No, I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying, look, and your previous caller made the point also too with JFK. He was a 19-year-old at the time at the White House, and yet he served. So I'm just saying that.
look, don't condemn him right now. Let this play out at the polls, and let the chips fall where they may. But I don't think that the Republicans should be jumping ship right now.
Thanks for the call, Jasmine. Tim in Lamont.
How short are our memories? I mean, do you not realize they literally played this playbook with President Trump? And I'm not talking one or two accusers, which that's what Moore has. Trump had like 15 women coming out of the woodwork. You know why I know this is bogus? It's because not one whiff of this has ever been around Alabama, and the man's been in there for 30 years. The same thing happened with Trump. You can't even compare that to Clinton or Weinstein. Everybody knew those guys were problems. That had been known. Everybody knew it. They didn't say it, but that had been well known.
Well, thanks for the call.
Here we are going to bow to Gloria Allred's latest victim.
I'm not bowing to Gloria Allred. Thanks for the call, Tim.
Even our executive producer Keith Conrad, who lived in Alabama, said people knew about Roy Moore.
Well, there's stories coming out about people knowing but not saying anything. So, and in terms of the Trump accusers, you kind of have to go accuser by accuser in terms of credibility, but nobody was making sexual assault allegations like we're talking about here, particularly with underage girls.
Yeah.
You're talking about in a inappropriate word alleged, an inappropriate touching alleged. You're not talking about what has been alleged by Lee Kaufman or by Beverly Young Nelson. Bernard and Skokie.
Good morning, Guy.
Morning.
And good morning, Amy. Listen, I listen to you guys a lot, and I think there's a real issue here that I think a lot of Republicans, I consider myself more conservative today. I'm disgusted with the Republican Party, have been for many years a hardcore Republican, and I always associated conservatism with it. But we have to understand, and I've read interesting articles and listened to people talk about this. I don't know if it was the National or some other conservative, maybe somebody like a Prager that I heard this from, where America was known intellectually where reason was based on logic. And through the years, and a lot of our think tanks, professors, and quote me if I'm wrong on this, used to have to go to Europe to get their PhDs, because that was the only place they gave out PhDs that were not given here. This is maybe we're talking about 40 years ago. So a lot of our scholars went over there, and in Europe, they taught the reason that was based on emotion. And you go forward 40 years, you see today, everything is emotional. Nobody stops to think, hey, is this logical? Does this make sense? Everything today is, if I can strike an emotional nerve in someone, boom, I got the point. And we sit here and we always do the righteous thing, which I'm all for. We should do the right thing. If he is guilty, he is guilty. But why are we always playing the emotional card on this? No one's asking for proof. No one's asking for, is this logical and so forth. And,
thanks for the call. I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, and we're here today where we're always talking about emotion. And you know what? I'm sorry. The other side knows this game better than we do, and we just sit here and just fall over like birds.
Thanks for the call, Bernard. I mean, look, I'm all for the presentation of evidence, and and as our friend Jane from Burr Ridge said, I'm kind of approaching this in a dispassionate way, which is I want to do. But I don't. We're talking around this. I don't find what Roy Moore has presented so far persuasive. And when you have allegations of this sort and he's giving general denials without specific responses, that's a problem. If he proves up the investigation he said he's going to conduct to challenge the veracity of the accusers, okay, fine. I'm open-minded on the topic. I'm saying as we stand here today, after predicting that the 14-year-old Lee Kaufman wasn't going to be his last underage accuser, and then we have an underage accuser have a press conference yesterday, I want to be restrained in suggesting that all of this should just be dismissed. Now, there are people who disagree. Look, Dinesh D'Souza, since we just cited him, He said of Beverly Young Nelson's statement, "This statement seems crafted by someone who is very savvy about politics. I smell a rat." Somebody just tweeted that in my direction, which I appreciate. So that's Dinesh D'Souza's opinion. He's a smart guy too, and so that's what I mean. But you can also suggest that, well, yeah, she told her story, and Gloria Allred helped her cobble it together in a consumable way.
How it works with Gloria, you get together, she has researchers, and they go through everything. She just doesn't get somebody and then throw it on the air. They go over it piece by piece.
Yeah.
They practice what they're going to say. They check their facts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
facts that they have.
I understand the skepticism around Gloria Allred, though, too, because
Yeah.
she is a bit of a demagogue herself, and she's obviously a self-professed leftist. So I get that.
But
I'm
she's taken down Republican politicians and Democratic politicians.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the quality of the specific allegations from the four women versus the quality of the response from Roy Moore. That's what I'm trying to get focused on here. Because people have made a lot of other points about the political culture, about Republicans being weak-kneed and Democrats being Machiavellian. All those are fair points. This case, though, this specific case. Kurt in Park Ridge.
Hi. What bothers me is if you have a problem with, the sexual problem, his proclivity to young women and stuff, you don't stop that. People don't lose their taste for that. Where are the attacks on women 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, last year? People just don't stop doing that once they're doing it.
Well, he was married for the last 33 years. Thanks for the call, Kurt. Josh in Chicago.
Hey, Dan and Amy. A couple of your callers touched on this when they brought up Bill Gates, JFK, and Bill Clinton, and a couple other people. My question to you is, even if this is true, if you would have had, let's say, a socialist, Bernie Sanders, running versus a conservative who this had happened to 30 years ago, you're telling me you wouldn't vote for the conservative? You'd let this country go socialist?
Yeah, if I believe Roy Moore is guilty of what those women accused him of doing, then I'm not voting for him. I'll sit. I'm not gonna vote for the Democrat, but I'll sit the race out. Just as I sat the race out, Mark Kirk versus Tammy Duckworth last year. I'm not going to vote for Tammy Duckworth, but I'm not going to vote for an enemy inside our perimeter and Mark Kirk either. So that's what I would do.
That's what's killing me. Because logically, why do Democrats understand that they care about what direction the country goes in? Conservatives, all we care about is if this guy was a perfect angel
come on.
his lifetime.
Well, we're talking about sexual assault. It's not about being an angel. It's not about being.
Well, what about?
Come on.
Okay, but hear me out for a second.
All right.
Bill Clinton. It's a fact. He's raped people. There have been settlements. He's a god to the Democrats. If he's running against any conservative, they don't care. They're going to vote for Bill Clinton because they need to go in that direction. They want the country to go in that direction.
I understand,
Why
Josh.
do they know this and we don't?
Well, my point is to say, as I've said before on this show, I know we could be them, but they couldn't be us, and I don't want to be like the left. I don't want to be standard free. I don't want to be a moral relativist. I don't want to be a secular humanist. I could be. I don't want to be.
No, but listen. But if you're not, I hate the left. I'm not condoning this.
No, I know.
But if we're not going to vote with our brains, rather our heart, then this country is going to pretty much go socialist because Democrats are socialists. If conservatives don't hold power, Democrats are going to win.
Well,
red state for the last who knows how long, and now it's about to go blue.
Well, thanks for the call, Josh. Well, as I said, if Roy Moore said I would resign, if he doesn't come up with something that changes the nature of this story, I would resign if elected so that this can be maintained by a Republican, then I'd be fine with that. Roy Moore's not the only one who could be a U.S. Senator from Alabama, not the only Republican. I mean, all these races where you have a bad actor don't rise or fall based on just one candidate, so get a better one.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.